fluids. I don't have a, near my cotton mouth. Wes?
Are we live?
I think so.
Hello, people.
John, you went live, right?
Yeah, I went live and then did.
Yeah, I was like, wait, did he delay
Hi,
the
everybody.
start? I'm just like catching up on text messages
We're
here.
live. Hi, everyone. All right. I think we're live.
Maybe.
Yeah. Jen is coming. She's just getting some stuff from the kitchen. For anybody who wants to, this is a quick plug. We just monetized the channel because we just hit 500 subscribers, which is cool.
Woo,
If you want,
yeah.
you can become a member for $5 a month, where there'll be a little extra content, and you will be called a hot tamale. That's what our membership is
Oh
called.
yes, that is so
I was trying to
good.
think of it, and I was like, we could do the first time listeners. I was like, that doesn't quite have a ring to it, and I was like, hot tamales. So
Our
thank
hot
you, Jen.
tamales.
I don't even
That
remember
is
how that
so
came up again,
great.
but I'm glad
I think
it's
you were just
working.
talking. I think it was actually about Ginny,
Yeah.
or no, maybe. It was either Ginny or the
It's
Bobaton
fitting.
students or something like that, and you're just like, or they're hot
Oh,
tamales.
maybe,
Or,
yeah. Maybe it was the Bobaton.
I think for the Bobatons, you said they're just sexy.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I
you
think
would know
Ginny-
because you listen to it more often,
Yeah.
so thanks. I like to know the origins.
You can also, if anybody wants to, you don't have to. There's never pressure for this. This is a free podcast, but you can donate in chat if you want. If you really like this podcast and you're like, hey, I want to give $2 million, we would love that.
Start off small.
We will
Yeah.
give you a hot tamale award.
Yeah.
It'll be
You will
gold
be the
plated.
hot tamale.
We will all quit our jobs and do this full time, and it will be great.
And then we could have a location where you can come visit.
I know, exactly.
Ah.
Yeah. We'll start like a bookstore, Harry Potter themed.
And for $2
Coffee
mil, we'll
shop.
fly to you wherever
Yeah.
you are and do a meet and greet.
We'll give you a lifetime supply of hot tamales.
I don't know what that is.
I looked them up. I think they're little
They're
candies.
candies?
Yeah.
Those little red
Yeah.
things?
Oh, yeah,
They were
the
peppers. for
I
the
assumed
entire
it
time.
was hot tamale. Yeah, those
I
little
thought it was a Mexican
red candies.
food, tamale. Isn't a tamale like a
probably.
wrap, like a burrito?
Oh, is that like rice thing wrapped in like
I thought so,
in like
but
a banana
Yeah,
leaf?
that's what tamale is. Yeah.
so a hot
I guess a
tamale.
hot tamale is a hot version
A
of
hot
that.
one.
Yeah, like
Spicy.
very spicy. All right, so I'm
Huh.
not that far off.
No.
Banana
I
leaves.
just,
But it's also a candy.
I just pictured the candy.
Yeah.
The person who doesn't eat candy.
That's so
pictured the
funny.
candy.
I don't eat candy either, so I wouldn't have known. But
Hot tamales. Yeah, they're
it's
also
chocolate.
Candy.
That's a different
Oh,
story.
true.
A gross candy. I had them once when I was a kid. Never liked them.
I don't know
It's
if I've
like-
ever tried them.
It's just like a red
The name
circle.
turns me off.
I think.
Something
Yeah, I
like
think
that,
they're
anything
like cinnamon Mike and Ike.
Oh, I know what
Oh.
you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like those red things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Whoa.
not really a fan.
But you can become a Mike and Ike. You can become a Mike and Ike. You can become a hot tamale if you want. All right.
You're changing it.
Depending on how much
Yeah.
you give, you can either be a Mike and Ike or a hot tamale.
Oh boy, that's pretty great.
All right. What's a good opener for this?
I'm doing on poppy seeds.
You're good. But now
Nice.
everyone knows too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
We eat bagels, you know? Sometimes they're poppy seed bagels.
Sometimes they're everything's. And they're delicious. What's the thing that I ate again?
A kolache.
Yeah, if
I
anyone's
don't know,
ever
yeah,
had
any of our
those,
Texas people, if that's a real thing or just
that
made up,
was
but
amazing.
it was tasty.
Really
It's like the perfect amount of bread and filling. Like it was very equally balanced.
Hmm.
Gotta have a good ratio when you're
Delicious.
dealing with bready things, carby things, you know?
Yeah. It's really good.
Sorry, I just gotta find one thing on Google, and then we'll be good.
I really want to know what the secret riddle is. saw the
don't
title to the next chapter.
Oh, I was like, what? I know I kind of like.
I just like riddles. Although the problem is,
Wait.
That is the one we're supposed to have read.
what the?
Wait, did we?
Am I a chapter
I
behind?
feel like you reread. Yeah. I
Wait,
think
which
so.
chapters did you read?
Oh shoot! Did I only read one chapter?
No
Oh
way.
my goodness!
He's like, I want to know what the secret riddle. I'm
and you're like, oh, I already know what it is.
I was
No!
I was like, you
I could have
don't-
sworn I read both chapters.
you don't
Yeah.
get the riddle.
It's like, wait,
Oh
why did you have-
no! Sorry, guys.
Oh well.
This
we
might
got
be a
one
one
yeah.
chapter podcast, or I can
You can
start
listen
reading
to
it
it.
while. Yeah, I'll just sit in the corner and I'll listen to it while you guys talk.
I mean, then I can talk more.
Yeah,
exactly,
nice.
yeah.
There you go.
Jen, you just keep talking and I'll start reading.
Okay.
And then the viewers get to watch
I
me
can't
read
believe
No one wants
and
to listen to
circle.
me
I just
talk
need a
that
pen.
long.
You know what I mean?
All right, let's get you one. I'm sure.
Jen, you have a pen?
Yeah.
Oh, here,
There's a lot in chapter 12 though.
You're
so
gonna
we
like
can just talk about chapter
the
12.
secret riddle. No, Danny. What did you reread a chapter and then read?
No, I don't think so. You know, I think I just got like halfway through the chapter and then picked it up the next time, thought that I had done a
Yeah.
chapter and a half, but I had actually only done a half.
It's good, but that one's kind of long. The secret riddle. So
Mm.
I don't know if you're gonna.
It was a good
finish
chapter.
it.
Though. You like that chapter then?
Yeah. Answers.
Wow, Katie
Loving
was in St.
answers.
Mungo's. It was big.
I know,
It
yeah.
was good. But we were right, ish, about the jewelry.
No spoilers. What?
That's
Okay,
not
sorry.
a spoiler.
You asked for
Shoot,
it.
yeah, this is on
We're
me.
gonna discuss this whole
What were we
chapter.
right
You asked
about?
for it.
Because when she touched the necklace,
Ah,
that's
yeah,
something
yeah,
you
yeah.
read, right?
Yeah.
And we were saying, oh,
Yeah. Magical objects. We're gonna talk about that.
yeah,
Wes, you got all sorts of water on your
Oh,
schnoz.
Wes.
yeah. I almost got
Come
the
on.
book.
And peanut butter?
I don't know how safe you're gonna be in these discussions because it's kind of a blur. The two.
It's kind of a blur.
chapters.
That's okay. You know what? This is on me.
All right. Well, we'll have quiet from that
Here's
side.
what. Yeah. I'll just be quietly reading. You know what? I was thinking Harry just jumps to conclusions so fast. And when McGonagall told him that Malfoy wasn't in Hogsmeade, I feel like he should have completely changed his thought process. Like a proper detective would say, there's new information now. I have to almost like start from scratch and think what is the most likely scenario. But instead, he was so locked into what he already assumed and he was like refusing to change. But I was like, now it feels like that necklace was supposed to be delivered to Malfoy. And Malfoy was supposed to pick it up, but he couldn't get there.
So someone's trying to kill Malfoy?
No, not kill him, because the necklace glowed green.
Oh.
So I was thinking maybe Slytherins can touch it, but other people can't. Or if anyone but Malfoy touches it.
Wait, do we know what Katie
can't.
was? Is she pure blood or is she?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, okay. Because then I was like, is it a pure blood thing where like pure bloods can touch it? And
Yeah,
not
that's an
get
interesting
hurt?
question.
And maybe not mixed. Because
It's
they're like the necklace is from the Slytherin's descendants.
Yeah.
And they were
it's
the pure
Borgenbergs.
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I thought. I was thinking.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So do you think that Harry is just trying to force answers into his theories that are already there? Like, do you think his theory still could possibly be correct? Could Malfoy have
I think
told
it
Crabbe
could.
and Goyle to go, deliver this? Or is that even more far-fetched?
It could be true. But who would he be trying to give this necklace to?
I mean, the Malfoy discussion at whatever that store was. That seems
Borgin and
like,
Burke's?
yeah, I feel like that seems likely. Like, hey, this is the necklace, because Hermione went in after and was like, "How much is that?" And of course, he already knew
Mm-hmm.
that she was being suspicious, so he's gonna upcharge it or whatever.
Right.
It kind of makes sense. Who else knows about the necklace?
We kind of assume.
And
Dumbledore
our
does.
last discussion was the ring and the necklace being some kind of importance.
Some kind of importance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
And
know.
Malfoy could have just sent for it, right? I feel like that was an
Yeah.
easy way of it getting into Hogwarts, though.
Mm.
And she was imperious. Or
It was
something.
it was almost too easy. Like everything, you just don't. Like, what is your running theory for how?
Although I was annoyed that I went to Snape. I was
Yeah.
like, why would I go to
Right?
Snape? I thought that was weird.
He was a Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, so it made some sense. But still, you're like, why can't Dumbledore have a look at that, even though he was gone at that moment?
Unless McGonagall is not good and she's with Malfoy.
She
And
was
it's a
helping getting it
cover.
smuggled in. Yeah, because it did feel weird. Like they're trying to be so careful about what they bring in, and then they're like, "Ooh, something suspicious. Bring it in. Let's look at it." You know, I'm like, just let's keep these funky things out of here. Because it felt like if they were all nervous that it would enter the school, well, it entered the school. So I don't know. I just feel like you got to keep some of that stuff out, but they know more about magic stuff than me, so they didn't think it was a risk. They were able to do some tests.
But I'm
I
also
guess.
curious, how did it get cursed? Like, she was
Yeah.
wearing whatever with an M. What's her name? The daughter that...
Merope?
Yeah. Since she was wearing it, did she curse it when she died? How did it get cursed?
Ooh, that's cool.
Is the dad putting a spell on it? Only purebloods can touch it? Like, where did this curse come from? Because she was wearing it, and it didn't seem like any big deal.
You think it's the same necklace?
Yes,
It makes
until
sense.
now.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it makes great sense because that's like one of the first times we ever heard of a necklace mentioned.
Yep.
And then it's in the next chapter, pretty much, or the next few.
Unless we're about to hear about a whole like necklace thing, like, oh yeah, that's a normal
Black
thing,
market
and like
necklace,
yeah, like there are a
wizarding
lot of
necklaces.
necklaces around, and she's kind of introducing a new concept of like, yeah, you know,
Jewelry.
kids at Hogwarts don't know about these things, but lockets are a thing that all
Well, I guess
pureblood
also
families
because
have, or
I
like,
wonder if the jewelry, but like the Ministry of Magic came to check the Malfoy's house,
oh yeah, searching for stuff.
searching for things. But I guess if everything looked like jewelry, is that their way of getting things? that
And
are
depending on how they
evil?
searched, I'm assuming they have like a good technique for searching where they would be able to identify things that are magic even if they didn't look suspicious. I'm trusting Mr. Weasley is good at that stuff. But if the Malfoys were trying to hide it, they might be better.
Interesting as an author because she just drops these little hints, and then you have to just. I mean, this is why I'm new to reading. I'm like, what is this? I just want to keep getting answers.
I know. And you'd get them in the next chapter if Danny had read it. We can, Danny, if you want to stop reading, like, we can just do one chapter and we can do, like, some summary questions. So, like, it's like a halfway point rehash of everything. If you want to just try to keep reading, you can.
Well, what do you guys
Um,
think we should do?
I feel like you should answer that
Because I don't know what kind of content is coming up. If it's going to be too hard to discuss only a single chapter.
you're gonna.
Um,
Well, this chapter has a lot of information.
We always,
Ooh, I like
yeah.
information. But also, I can't sit and read for 45 minutes
Yeah.
of silence.
People actually probably would like that. They're like, give us a live read of Danny's reaction because it is a good chapter for
I'll
sure.
read it out loud and just start exclaiming when crazy things happen.
If anybody, yeah, what do you guys want on chat? Whoever's
I'm like
watching this.
annoyed that you didn't read this chapter because this is the one that I like the most.
I know, yeah. This is one of the best chapters in the book so far.
Why did I vacuum yesterday when I should have been reading?
have asked you.
Well, literally, John's like, "What
Yeah,
chapters?"
we
I'm
were
like, "Oh yeah,
going-
12 and
yeah.
13, obviously."
Yeah, and then he answered
Because I
that
knew the
quick.
numbers,
Yeah.
but I didn't even realize.
People are
What?
saying you get a T in your OWLs, Danny, for troll. For not
Yeah,
reading.
yeah, definitely. I do not get to go onto my newts now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think some people do want a live read. Could be fun, but
See, I'm mixing them together, so I don't even know.
all right, let's go. Let's just kind of go through. Danny, you do what whatever you want. If you want to keep scanning and reading, feel free. Chime in whenever you want, 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 whenever
Whoa. It's Burke.
It's giving Danny time to read. He's so excited.
Caractacus.
What? I don't even know who that is.
Borgin and Burke.
Yeah.
We might get to meet Caractacus Burke.
But where is this?
So this is the second page, or however you count pages, fourth page of the new chapter, where Dumbledore is saying the reason they know that Merope was left in London is because of the evidence of one Caractacus Burke, who, by odd coincidence, helped found the very shop from whence the necklace we have just been discussing.
But that's the necklace from Merope.
Yeah, but that confirms just the name and the fact that this confirms the necklace that they're discussing came from that shop.
So what I was saying could be right.
Well, I just didn't know if it was the same necklace. We assumed it was, but this confirms it. Dumbledore at least thinks the necklace was the same.
The
Also,
same that
If the stream's not working, maybe we should wait and discuss. But yeah, that necklace, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think my theory could be right.
We're all over the place right now. I gotta figure this thing out. Let's give Danny more time to read this.
It gets so good. Oh, the end.
I know. The
Because
end of
you get answers of why he's the way he is, and then I'm like, why does anyone?
Keep reading quick, Danny.
Why does anyone follow him?
I know. This actually is going to be kind of entertaining. If Danny keeps
Bellatrix?
reading during this and just gives us like
And
this
just
live
randomly
reaction.
jump out with,
Yeah,
"Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
goodness."
yeah. I feel like this could work.
It's a long. The only thing is, it is a long chapter, but I guess you read fast.
I feel like we're just going to start over.
We were just kidding about all this before.
Yeah. Everything was a joke before this point, guys.
and it's hard to get the axe to actually stick.
Yeah, but he's really good at it.
So it's
Yeah.
not that satisfying if it just smacks the wall, but when it sticks,
Yeah.
it's so satisfying.
I feel like I would need that.
Yeah, honestly, you would probably really enjoy that. It's
It
very
was really good.
cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Do that
Brandon
or
loved
rage
it.
Mhm.
Oh, those things we break everything.
Yeah.
That's probably fun too.
Yeah.
Brandon was just going to town with it,
He's-
but it's funny because he has
Is he,
the
like,
power.
trained
No, but Danny's would stick in the board, and Brandon's was like he's got the power behind it, but it wouldn't stick as much.
Oh.
So he would just get so annoyed and just kept throwing, just like chucking him, like you're gonna break the thing because you're
Oh,
so
gosh.
strong.
Yeah.
And then Lauren wasn't getting the hang of it, but I picked it up quicker because
Yeah.
he was giving me some tips. And then I
Nice.
passed it to Lauren. And then Danny, it was towards the end, we had like 15 minutes left, and she comes over. She's like, you guys are almost done with your session. And Danny looks over, he's like, Jen, we were both throwing. He's like, we're going to both throw it and both get bullseye to end the thing. So we both throw it, and we both got bullseye.
Stop it.
And I was dying.
on
I was like,
video,
oh
that?
my gosh. No, we have a picture of it at the end.
That was a
But-
great way to end it.
Oh my gosh. But then
Oh, I thought
Lauren
you
and
said it.
I
first.
know, right
And
before.
then-
Yeah.
And then we
Did
both
it.
did it. It was so cool.
Yeah, that was
And then
great.
Lauren and Brandon did it, but they didn't say it beforehand. They both got bullseyes at the same
Oh,
time. So then we
nice.
took a picture of that too.
That's pretty cool.
That was
How's it
fun.
going over here?
We're on the struggle bus, but we might have figured it out. I don't know.
Are people helping you on the chat?
Yeah, some people are. Yeah,
They're like, do this, do that.
yeah.
It's kind of nice. But yeah, definitely a cool place to
That sounds fun.
go to again. Yeah.
Something different to do too.
Yeah, it's like and it's a big spot. I don't know. I was just so surprised. I was like, how is this place like empty?
Yeah.
I thought it would
Especially
be
on a Friday
packed, but
night.
then we're like, well, maybe it's a holiday weekend.
Oh, yeah.
and
I was
then
just thinking
it's
that.
also kind of nice out, so maybe people wanted to do outdoor things.
Yeah.
Maybe it gets more popular in the wintertime. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But definitely a fun group activity to do.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
That'd be game.
I don't even know. It was like $25 for an hour.
And I think it's even
Oh, that's
less
really
for
reasonable.
2 hours if you have more people, because you're almost like paying for the space. So
Okay.
I think it's like $20 a person if you do
Oh, that's really
um,
reasonable.
2 hours and
Yeah,
you have
it
like 6 or
wasn't
8
that
people or whatever. Yeah.
I used to sign a waiver.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was like.
But they didn't even check because I
No,
just
They were so chill.
yeah. So they were chill. It was great.
I just love that you could bring your own stuff too. I wish we brought
Yeah,
a little
that's
like
nice.
cake or with a candle or something for him, but
Oh,
it's just been a crazy week.
we
So
can only do so much.
yeah.
Like we saw fireworks last night.
Where?
How pretty.
Oh my gosh,
nice.
so pretty.
Montville.
Huh.
I wanna
That's
say.
near.
Did you go
Haley's.
west or
Haley.
east?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
oh,
I
oh,
meant
yeah, that one, that
Haley's
one.
and
I
then-
confused the Montville and Montvale,
I
but
haven't
okay.
been to fireworks
Dang,
in
that's a great
so
picture.
long.
People took it. I can't even take credit.
Dang, that's like
I know.
pretty cool.
It was cool. They had music playing like in time with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I usually go to the Ridge, or as a family, we used to go to the Ridgewood ones.
Oh, okay.
You have to like pay to go into it, and they have the live
Oh,
music.
you would pay to go into the
course we
thing
would.
behind the municipal building. I've always looked at those stands with envy
You
as
could
I
be
sit on the
one now.
curb. Oh no.
Oh.
He was living his best life, eating his Doritos.
So
cute.
Everly was at the pool at Ram.
Yeah. Yeah. I got
Yeah.
you.
And they went to, so I think, and then she has this really cool bounce house. It's like Little Tykes, right? That's the
Yeah,
brand.
Yeah.
It's a bounce house for like toddlers, but like adults, a certain weight capacity can go on
Oh my
it too.
gosh.
And his friend, my brother's friend bought it as a gift, and she's obsessed with it. And it also has like this tubing that can spray water into it, so it could be like a water kind of thing. And I was like, every kid needs this, because
Yeah.
she was exhausted after it. I'm like, this is
I bet.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why she was probably so cranky with me too,
Oh, that would make sense.
because she was at the pool all day,
Tired, yeah.
and then she was for an hour straight jumping on that thing.
Oh wow.
Well, I had to join her. I was like,
How was your
this
workout?
is exhausting. Because it's hard to stand as an adult in it because it's not,
Oh yeah.
it's just
How
a
tall
bounce
is it?
house. It's probably like, sorry, I don't even have a picture of, maybe like 10 feet tall, but it's open.
Oh, okay.
So like it has like a framed thing. I don't know. I think it would be
I
really
wonder if that was
cool.
what my cousins had for their kids. Because they had said.
It's just like a tiny little motor that blows it up.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like this pretty cool thing, and like to have it all the time, and
Right,
like,
right.
okay, go play
No.
in the bounce house,
Yeah.
Stuff
and
there for
Something
kids
different to
is
do.
you just
insane.
click, you
Mhm.
just plug it in and click a button, and it
Yeah.
like pops up.
I know.
It was so nice. And she was loving it.
Yeah.
My
And
mom
then
like
it's
sent me in the
cool.
back to play with the mud, and now these kids have bounce houses.
I
I think it's
literally
just
said that the other
blow
day.
up.
I was like, we didn't have technology. We literally made mud pies.
Yeah.
Like,
I took
have
all
fun
like
with
my little animal figurines outside, and they were on a safari, and I was
Aw,
like in the
yeah,
grass
that's
and the
cute.
yeah,
rocks.
That's really
I was
cute.
playing with American Girl dolls and like
Ugh, I know.
probably
All
till
right.
I was like in high school.
You guys ready to keep going?
I wasn't a doll girl.
All right, we I think
No.
we're back,
Or
and
Barbie,
I
I
am
was
crossing
stuffed
my fingers,
animals,
hoping world will be all right,
animals.
but we'll see.
So is Everly though. She wants like 1,000 stuffed animals in her
Aw.
crib. Sorry.
It's so cute though. It's like cute when they like fall asleep and they're like literally surrounded by a bunch of animals.
Yeah.
Stuffed
Oh,
animals.
that is her. She can't get enough. But that was me. So I'm like, oh, there is a little brain in there.
Aw.
All right. Sorry to you guys and to everyone. Well, I think we have it figured out, but
Hmm?
this could happen again. But Danny is doing nonverbal spells, so that's why.
Yeah. I'm just trying to give myself more time, you know?
All right.
Still taking like 1,000 notes.
Oh yeah, I
he's
probably should
rushing
cut my
reading.
character list out or have you put the characters in. I don't have time for this, you know what I mean? But
I don't know how you're. I don't
It
want
is
to mess it
entertaining.
up.
This is like a live read, so people can
Yeah.
go back and just.
This
you
is
know.
how
this
he
is my
reads.
process. Usually I am
Mm.
doing more I'm just trying to confirm who might have been the headmaster of Hogwarts back when Dumbledore went to this mysterious place in London, which might be St. Mungo's back in the day.
What?
Well, all I know
It's
so
okay.
far
I probably won't even follow. Just keep going.
No,
with what
because
you're doing.
Dumbledore's meeting with Mrs. Cole, and I'm like, it sounds like she's got people oozing on beds and doing other stuff. I'm like, sounds like a hospital. What if this is St. Mungo's back in the day? So then I'm
It's
like,
an orphanage.
Yeah.
what? Spoiler. All right, cool.
You
Orphanage.
Say
knew
that.
that. You knew it was
Not yet, but they will.
Stop mid sentence.
Because Dumbledore's here about Tom Riddle, so I'm just trying to figure out, you know, his age and all that, and to see it. Dumbledore said he was a teacher, so I'm just curious: is he only a teacher or also the headmaster yet?
We don't have time for this.
We don't have time for this. You're right. You're right.
Come on.
All right, keep going.
Anyway, welcome to the.
I'm glad. It's
Oh boy.
We got to do some kind of intro.
Oh, we started fresh.
We're not starting fresh, but I don't know. I don't have any. I'll throw it together when I edit it later. But at least tell me this: do you think the Half-Blood Prince is a good or a bad person?
I can't tell you.
They seem a little dark, but at the same time, they seem kind of good.
I feel like they're just really good at spells, hexes, and whatever, and potions, obviously. But I can't tell if it's good or evil because it could be like a prankster person.
And do you have any ideas or theories on who it could be?
No. It was funny about James Potter was brought up,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, that would be interesting if he was the Half-Blood Prince, because I could see him like, if I was feeding into that prankster thing mentality, he could be that person, where it's like he's really so smart that he was like bored in class, so he was like re-editing the book spells and the potions and like making up his own spells while bored in class or something like
Yeah.
that. Or it could be his mom.
I know it could be either of them.
Yeah.
Do you guys think the person is alive or dead? And Danny, who do you think it might be?
I think my top thought is probably Karkaroff. My second would be Voldemort. Third would be Snape. Fourth would be James Potter.
Wow. Okay.
I think those are the only ones that I think
Wait,
it
wait,
actually
hold
could
on.
be.
Sorry. Go through that again. Karkaroff.
Karkaroff, if he's still alive, and if that silly theory about living death potion, then I think it would be him. But if he's dead, that would kind of seal the deal. That would close the coffin on that one. Then I think it could be Voldemort, but
Yeah.
because Voldemort is just really good. And the thing that throws me off about this is that he was inventing his own spells, and this is the potions book. What about in charms and all the other
for sure.
stuff? Whoever this is someone who maybe doesn't play by the rules, which we love in the form of the Weasleys, but is a kind of scary thing in the form of Voldemort. So it sounds like the kind of thing Voldemort would do, and maybe that's how he rose to power, if he was experimenting and starting to experiment on other people, other wizards, or discovered during his experiments something really powerful, which could lead down a path to more things.
Right.
But I don't know. It's
Yeah,
weird.
too.
And I get the feeling that whoever this is has rebelled against the establishment, because otherwise they would be publishing these updates in future potions books. They would be like making updates. And we don't know how old this book is. If it was Voldemort's, this book is, how old is that now? Like 40 years old or something, which seems a little unlikely, but maybe they really never update potions recipes.
There was one other name I didn't say, Merope, because she.
Interesting.
I thought it could, because only because Hermione threw in it looks like a girl's handwriting and a Half-Blood Prince. Remember I was saying this last time, and at first I was like, maybe they didn't go to Hogwarts because it seems like they were kind of like homeschooled or whatever that is.
Yeah.
But then they were descendants of the Slytherin founder.
Salazar, yeah.
So I was like, wouldn't they go to Hogwarts then?
But it
I would
sounds like
think.
Merope
Didn't?
but maybe she did and they just didn't mention it.
Well, that's the only thing, because then I'm like, oh, you're not in that chapter. You're not done. But because I could see the mom, I'm like, how are certain things that's mentioned in this chapter is just natural talent? I feel like it has to come from a parent, and his dad is a muggle and his mom's a witch. So to me, she would seem to have passed down the skill set.
Yeah.
And she's not a squib, obviously. So in my mind, I'm just thinking maybe it could be her.
That would be fascinating and cool and
You're not
sad.
there yet. Just keep reading.
okay. Well, just because she either, that's a tough one.
I know but it's also interesting because, never mind.
I think
I can't even say things.
one and one thing that, again,
How do you do this?
oh god, one
That's why I
thing
just
that
stay
JK is really good at too, is she like throws something in there and then leaves it immediately. You're like, why did she throw that in there with the female handwriting? And they threw the idea that it couldn't be a woman out so fast that you're like, something seems amiss here. So
Right.
Merope, there's some things line up with her, but you don't know all the details on it yet. So like maybe when more details come out, you'll see things
Yeah.
don't line up or they do line up. But she at least made an incredible love potion. Like she's a very good potions person so far from the little that we know.
feel like my torso is too. Like I feel like those are good for people that are taller.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh no, but you've worn it
I
and
wear
it's cute on you.
The high waist. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah,
would
but
work
yours
with
is
you. I have ones
I
that
like
are like
it.
right below my belly
Stuffed
button, and the ones that are
sausage.
like pretty high. I think I might go down a little bit. But
Please work.
Maybe I should have tried it.
I don't know what the issue is.
maybe try to find like go to like TJ
They
Maxx.
Yeah.
If they have any, just try one. And look at those few.
No, I mean, not really, because I usually just wear
I
some.
mean, I've gotten. That's where I go.
Yeah.
For some of my bathing suits, because I'm like, they're so cheap, and like that's where I got the airy ones. Like I was saying.
Oh,
So it's like
that is
they were like
nice.
$6 or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because it was at the end of the season.
Well,
so.
yeah, right now it's like prime time, I think, too. Which is
Right.
why I thought it was weird that it was 50% off, though.
I could never.
I know.
I don't understand.
My sister wears stuff like that. though.
Really? I can't.
But she could pull it off. It's not super.
Yeah. I'm too.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Well, I also am bigger than her, too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I think, yeah. It would not look good. Are we live with our
yeah. We
bikini
just went
bottoms?
back.
Oh, I thought you were like showing me something. I'm like, your phone is backwards.
What?
She thought you were showing her something with your
Oh.
phone.
Because
Oh,
you
God.
like reached, and then I was like,
Oh no.
I was like,
sorry.
your phone is not facing me.
Danny, are you almost there?
I don't know how long it is, but I'm making good progress.
We'll flip through how many more pages?
I don't know. I guess so. Sure.
You
Let
can't
me.
do that. He
I
never
know,
does
this is
that.
like a
I'm
guess.
close.
2 pages?
3.
All right. Oh my
Dumbledore is
gosh.
so cool.
What did
Is-
you just read? I don't know.
The wardrobe burst into flames.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I love that we're seeing that young Dumbledore is different than old Dumbledore.
Yeah, right.
He was like a little more wild, a little more like, but still flamboyant, still the same, like, fun,
You got
cool.
that from there.
Yeah, he
Oh,
kind of
But-
he
was.
set
Yeah.
something
But
on
that
fire?
actually, the word
Flamboyant.
flamboyant was used. Ooh, nice,
Yeah,
Jen.
because he was wearing his
Purple and violet
yeah,
robes. But then
Wow,
he's
I
still
didn't think it was
bursting things into flames.
plum-colored robes. I think they're
Oh,
called.
yeah, nice. Man, John, you know these books like crazy.
Well, when you read them 100 times.
Yep. This is my life, guys.
Nice.
All right, so Danny's almost there. So all this was a gift from the Harry Potter gods.
What?
No.
Oh boy, you're gonna get in trouble for that one.
I don't know if this thing's gonna keep working or not, but we're gonna plug through.
Gonna go super fast.
Try. All right, we have like 5 minutes before it does it again.
Spill all your
Go.
thoughts now.
Who's the Half-Blood Prince? All right, ready, go.
We did answer that.
I know we did.
So what's the next question?
Keep moving forward.
We're just gonna go. Welcome to the podcast. I'm John.
Jen.
Danny.
And Kristen.
This is Harry Potter and the First Time Readers, and Danny is reading chapter 13.
Unless
Speed
they-
reading it. Right now.
Live read.
Unless
Live.
they got messed up, so then we could repeat everything we said.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is all hell is breaking loose on this stream right now. Okay. Danny's gonna give us the summaries, but he's reading right now, so I'll give summaries because this stream is off the rocker. This is the summary of chapter 12. Let me get to my chapter. Silver and Opals is they take a Harry's still like obsessed with the Half-Blood Prince. He's doing nonverbal spells on his friends, which is quite alarming.
I forgot about that.
While they're sleeping, they go to Hogsmeade. They hang out in Hogsmeade for a little bit. Katie Bell gets cursed with this necklace that she's delivering to someone. We don't really know who. And the chapter kind of ends with the unsurety of it all. And Harry is about to go to his next lesson with Dumbledore.
Perfect.
Nailed it, guys. Wow, that was
Nailed
actually a lot
it.
of pressure.
Yeah,
I put you
yikes.
guys through. Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know why. I always say,
Why am I so nervous? Why am I sweating right now? All right, okay, the chapter opens up. Where was Dumbledore and what was he doing? That's the
He was
first
away.
That's the first line.
We
So
don't
that's the
know.
question I have for you guys. Where was Dumbledore and what was he doing?
I still don't freaking know. He's always away, and he's always doing something for the Order, maybe. And maybe with Hagrid. Maybe they're trying to get more people on their side. maybe he's trying to brushen up on spells or learn more ancient magic.
How?
And learn more ancient magic. There it is.
Yeah, it didn't take long. There should be like a countdown, a little
Okay.
timer.
You're supposed to be
Over, under.
reading.
People
Oh, sorry, yeah.
People should start taking bets. How long does it take?
Yeah. There's a point too. You mentioned ancient magic a lot, but has the book ever used the terminology ancient magic?
Yes, it has.
When?
Voldemort was explaining how ancient magic, he didn't realize
Yeah.
the power of
Okay.
it.
That's right. When he was transforming,
heels, you just feel like
Well, yeah.
prettier in a way. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
posture
like-
changes.
Yeah.
But the way that my is, it's the same concept because it's kind of the way it's structured.
Keeping you upright.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's what the scene. She's like, you don't need heels to keep your posture.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
I
fine.
was gonna say something.
I don't think.
Like, don't want to move because I think we're back.
Is it good?
Did you just connect a new wire?
No. I just
Oh,
plugged
okay,
into
got
the
it.
wire straight to my computer rather than through, like, the little converter
Got
or
it.
the thing that I have. But I don't know if that's the actual issue. I feel like if I touch this
Oh, look, these are the.
or I
ones
look at
got.
this in the wrong way.
Oof.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
I love it. Look
Oh yeah. Nice.
What?
Our inside
Girl talk.
jokes. This is not for the live stream.
No.
All right. Are you almost done, Danny?
Yep.
Well, that worked out nice.
With his notes, he's still quick. Well, I mean, I guess it wasn't that quick.
Yeah. Um.
But yeah, going back, I like the shoes. I like both options.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do. We'll see what I end up with. And then my mom got these for me. So this will probably be mine.
I love
They're
those colors.
Fake.
They're fake.
Yeah. That's the thing is I wanted things that I could do ahead and not have to like worry like the week of and pick
love the
up
colors.
things. Yeah, it goes kind of with and I love because the girls are gonna be like a darker like color, so I thought that'd be kind of fun. But yeah, I love this. Even feels real. This one, it has like this texture. It's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I like the wild look of it. Like I like it a mess.
Yeah.
Because everyone's
Yep.
bouquet is like a circle
So,
ball,
yeah.
and I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
like that.
I love it.
So we'll see. I'm practicing like putting it together. I could pay someone to do it, but it's expensive. Every little thing is like
I
so
know, it adds
expensive.
up so fast too.
Even though I'm like, we're doing pretty good. I can just do
All right.
it.
Guys,
Good?
I think we're good. I'm not gonna move the rest of the stream just in case it's this wire that is the issue. I kind of think it's this wire. I don't know. Sorry, guys. This is a pain. I don't even know what we were talking about.
I don't either.
We were talking about the Half-Blood Prince.
I like it.
Okay. What was the last question?
You asked.
Where was Dumbledore and what was he doing? But we
Oh,
already
yeah,
got
yeah,
that. That was
yeah.
ancient
That
magic
was
stuff, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But now we'll just go on to the next question. Maybe we'll have better luck with the next question. Is the Half-Blood Prince a dark person? We asked that before, but is the Half-Blood Prince sick in the head? Or are they just like a good wizard that's experimenting with things?
Ugh. We haven't seen anything that dark though from the book that Harry's. I don't think, have we? Like the ones he's been trying, like hanging upside down.
Yeah,
that's
for
not
sure.
that bad. Or
But how outrageous is it that he tried that curse on a sleeping Ron? When
I
the-
think. Well, I don't think he actually thought he could do it. So I think he was just like, oh, I'm gonna try it,
Yeah,
but
for
like
sure.
it's not gonna work.
Probably why it worked. Because he didn't think it would
Yeah.
work.
Maybe
he
you're
just
right.
went for it.
Thinking.
Wasn't overthinking it.
Yeah.
Because that Danny finished?
I'm done.
All right.
Wow, nicely
Thank
done.
goodness. Wasn't it a good
Now the
chapter?
audio is
Stop
gonna be fine.
jinxing. Yeah, stop jinxing.
That was the
audio now.
problem. I accidentally put some spells on the live stream. But now,
Wasn't
yeah,
it good?
It's a good chapter.
very good.
And a lot of information.
A lot of information,
Love it.
a lot of questions,
Well, yeah.
a
there's
lot of
always
intrigue, and I'm curious
more.
even how it ended. I'm like, I think I missed something, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Maybe
So-
we'll get there.
Even yeah, well, maybe we'll see. Even with this whole nonverbal spell, there's this whole thing in there where the curse's name is Levi Corpus. So like, if you put that together, you're like levitate, but corpus, like a corpse.
A
If I'm
body.
Harry, I'm thinking.
Harry's not thinking ever.
I know.
So he's
How?
not.
Why would you ever use this on your friend, even if you think you can't do it? That is absurd to me.
I'm curious what the difference is between Wingardium Leviosa and this Levi Corpus,
Mm.
and what this feels darker.
Yeah.
It grabbed him by his ankle. It was a vulnerable thing. It was like, it just felt different.
This is why we need him talking and not reading.
And so
Because my
it just
answer
feels a
was
little
3 words.
a little darker. And Harry pointed out that James used this thing potentially.
So wait, your top 3 people that you think the Half-Blood
Half-Blood
Prince could be
Prince.
are dark wizards, or
Yeah,
Ish.
you're right. You're right. Well, we don't know about James, but in this time, he was darker.
yeah,
I'm assuming he was also a 5th year, and he was still bullying people in his 5th year. So if it was Karkaroff, Voldemort, Snape, or even James, I think all 4 of those people were a little dark at the time
Yeah.
when they were writing this. But I could be wrong. It could be Lily, and it could be something else like entirely. But it gives me a little bit dark vibes. I'm not trusting the Half-Blood Prince quite yet. I think Harry should be more careful with these spells. And now that we learned a little more about
Hermione said
Voldemort,
that, too. Why are you
Mhm.
using the spells? Because she's always right.
yeah, she is always right.
yeah,
Because I mean, this is even the line that you get.
You love that.
This is even the line that you get from Harry reading this book. He goes, Harry rather doubted he would be able to bring off this particular spell. He was still having difficulty with nonverbal spells. Again, like, why would you do this spell? Something Snape had been quick to comment on in every Defense Against the Dark Arts class. On the other hand, the prince had proved a much more effective teacher than Snape so far. So, like, Harry's learning a ton from this, but do you, even with this whole idea, do you think that Harry is just blinded by his hatred of Snape? Do you think that Snape is actually a good teacher?
he's one of the better teachers, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say that, too.
I feel like if you're on his good side, you're learning a ton in that class. But he's like one of those who has favorites and non-favorites.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you can't really have that as a teacher, so.
Mm-mm.
But even his spiel about Defense Against the Dark Arts in the beginning,
Yeah.
they were like, Harry, it sounded like you.
Yeah. And Harry was seeing it from like a dark perspective of like being evil. And I was reading it a little bit that way. But I mean, it's a subject in school. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
Defense Against the Dark Arts. This is a class. You want teachers that are passionate about their classes. Harry is saying he's passionate about the dark arts, not the defense against them. But either way, again, I'm not viewing Durmstrang as being that bad. I'm not viewing dark arts as being that bad. I just don't think it's all black and white.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was not as offended by that, but it reminded me of Lupin, like a nice calm intro to the class, talking about big picture stuff, why this is important. Like that's like a good thing to do for a teacher. I feel like bad teachers would just be like, read the book or get it done, or like they would just be a little more impersonal about it. So a little bit of a speech I felt like was kind of a nice intro to class.
Right? Yeah.
Even if we don't trust him, it was still like, he's trying to teach people. I think.
Even when he was in potions, I feel like he was a good teacher in potions. But Harry just hates him so much that I don't think he's even able to learn from him. So I feel like Harry could have learned nonverbal spells really quickly with like Lupin. But do you think
You're
he's
right.
going to learn them quick with Snape?
No, because he also is like a angst against him with the
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like
Vendetta.
yeah, like when you're mentally like that, it's like everything they say you don't want to like listen to
Yep.
or like cooperate with.
Yeah. 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 What's that word? He just doesn't like him at all. So like whatever he says, he's not gonna go along with.
Yeah, because in life, right, like someone that you don't like and you don't want to admit they're right,
Yep.
so you're like go against whatever they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you guys view as the best teacher at Hogwarts?
Now or overall?
Like overall, over Harry's entire career at Hogwarts.
I loved Lupin. I thought he was
Mm.
really good because I feel like they learned a lot
Yeah.
quickly, and the Patronus stuff too, and the bug arts. Right? Was that a bug
Yeah.
art?
I didn't feel like he was biased.
Yeah.
At least I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
from
Well,
the
we
students.
only
like,
saw
I feel like
Harry's
I would be
perspective.
most comfortable with him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's a werewolf.
The irony.
McGonagall seems pretty decent too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I always forget about her.
I know, 'cause she's not coming up that often. I feel like.
And we haven't been in many of her classes.
I feel
We've
like
been in
she's
a
just very
few, but-
strict. Like
Yeah.
Lupin, I feel like was more approachable.
Yeah.
That's why I
Agreed.
liked him. I think.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think Harry was a good teacher.
So
Honestly,
true.
Yeah.
Dumbledore's Army, he was great. Grubbly Plank, I think, did a very good job in contrast to Hagrid. Sorry, we love Hagrid. But
Yeah.
even Ferenz, I think, felt like he had a certain presence.
You think really? You think Ferenz is a good teacher?
You know, I think
He was just going
for
Mars
his
burns
class.
bright tonight. That's all that he was saying.
Wait, is that what he did for the whole
Well,
class?
In the first book, he was talking about how Mars burns bright, but I think
Oh,
he's
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
ethereal that I feel
Maybe
like he's not a
nobody
good
got
teacher.
anything from it.
I feel like
or
no one
maybe-
would be a
Danny
good
would've.
teacher for that subject.
Maybe I just would have enjoyed it because
Danny would've.
am I making this up or did they turn the classroom into like a field with
Yeah.
grass and like plants? Maybe I was just like, oh, that'd be such a great
We're
environment
all
to be in.
revealing how we learn things right now.
Yeah.
But his class just stinks because obviously it's dumb.
You're
Him
just
and
saying that
Trelawney.
because we made fun of you for like.
No, but because I wouldn't even like that class. Even if I passed the OWL, I wouldn't go
I
on
don't
to
know.
meets
You're
for
talking
that.
about like stars and stuff. You love that.
I
Crap.
do like the stars. You're right. That would get me going.
Yeah.
But wait, isn't
the
astronomy a different
planets.
class?
Yeah, astronomy is a different class.
So I would do astronomy and then maybe divination to see how astronomy influences divination.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm trying to think of the good teachers
Those
because
seem like impractical.
I mean, you have Sprout,
wizard
Flitwick, yeah.
classes.
oh yeah. Is Sprout a good teacher?
Why?
I think probably good-ish.
yeah, I
right?
think she's an adequate teacher.
Hmm.
You don't hear too much about like people raving about how good Sprout's lessons were.
Yeah, you're right.
And Harry,
Unless
like,
you
Harry
read
knows
Neville's
Transfiguration.
perspective.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know. Neville is good at it, but
Hmm.
I feel like if you take his subject and you just go with it, then you're going to be good at it no matter what. Like Neville just loves that, so he's going to be good at it, even if you had a bad teacher.
And Bins, no good.
No good.
Is
Yeah.
that
Bins
history?
is buns.
Bins his puns.
Yeah, he just buns. And not like butts, but just like bad. Anyways, too many
It always
B's.
comes back
Um,
in.
So
Like that.
you
went
know
through
who
the
else
wall
is a
over my
pretty
head.
good teacher? Crouch Jr.
Yeah, for real.
Like legit, he was a
Yep.
good teacher. He taught a lot of stuff,
you
and I was
almost
like,
wonder why
what
he
the-
was a good teacher.
Yeah, I still wonder why did he do such a good job? Did he need to keep the moody impression up while he was there?
I guess
but like
there's a point of that, but still.
it just
Yeah, but
felt
also,
strange.
doesn't he become more like the person the more you take it? So maybe Moody
yeah.
would have been a good teacher, the real one.
I don't
And-
know if that's
Huh.
an actual apologies thing, but I think that's kind of like become
or he
headcanon
was
for me.
also studying the way he was.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
No,
He was
that's a
naturally
fair
good at
point.
that, and it just came out.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm
Seriously,
I'm a little suspicious. Like, did they learn anything in that year that like will come back to haunt them later?
What did they learn? I don't even remember.
Unforgivable curses.
And so that's like a
Oh.
kind of big deal. And then remember he did that Imperious thing with Harry and with others. So then I'm like, is he good at occlumency or legilimency? Was he like picking people's brains during
Oh, when
class?
he was telling him to like fight it off. That is
yeah,
weird, actually.
like why train Harry in that?
But somehow we figured it out.
Somehow we figured it out. Yeah. So
That was a high five for you listening.
yeah, I guess so. So I don't know.
So Harry's not getting good at potions because he has this book, but do you?
Is getting good at potions. Is not because he's just memorizing it.
But
I'm
isn't that
It's
what
a little of
potions
both,
are?
right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I feel like he is learning it because it's different and he's getting excited about it. So when
Yeah,
you're
it's
excited
true.
about something, I feel like it sticks.
But it's like saying somebody's not good at baking because they only follow recipes. But like you
Yeah.
can follow recipes and make delicious pastries, and then that is what makes you good. So I'm starting to blame the books, not Harry. Where I'm like,
Well, if Hermione can't get it right,
Yeah.
then I think it's something wrong with the books.
but why? Why use these old books? They used them years and years ago. Is this like a weird Slughorn last minute thing? Like, what books do we use? Yeah, let's just use the books I did last time. They're like, we've upgraded this book like 10 times since then. I don't care. I love this old book. Like, I don't know. It just feels weird. Yeah, that was the conversation between
Oh
Slughorn
my
and
gosh.
some other random person at school. Probably not
Okay.
Dumbledore because he doesn't get caught up in the administrative stuff like that.
How do you talk?
Harry.
Anyway.
Okay, so Harry does too. He suggests that it could be his dad. And you guys
Yeah.
were even talking about Merope. So there's one thing that I want to point out to you because you said, do you think the Half-Blood Prince had gone to Hogwarts? Or is that like something that she's leading us astray on because
But
the book was
shouldn't.
found in Hogwarts?
Oh,
It would be a clever mislead, but I do
Because-
think that, yeah,
they did go.
that they did.
Do you
I'm
know-
reading
I
it that
thought
way.
so too.
Do you know where your number one suspect went to school?
No, we don't know where Karkaroff went
Yeah.
to school.
He's the headmaster of Durmstrang, so you kind of think he went to Durmstrang, but you don't know for sure that he
And
went to Durmstrang.
because
yeah,
of
but he
this,
knows but he's a Death Eater. So.
Yeah.
this makes me think he went to Hogwarts.
Hmm.
According to this theory, like when I say he's my number one suspect, I'm assuming he went to Hogwarts and that's where he got to know Snape, not when they were both Death Eaters.
Interesting.
But then also he just felt so familiar to Dumbledore, and I don't know. Again, I'm just assuming if it's way up north, like wouldn't they speak another language? But it seems like he's pretty comfortable. No, he does have an accent though, doesn't he? I don't remember.
You're asking the wrong.
He has it in the movies. I think he did it in the
Oh,
books. I
ma-
think it mentioned it in the books
Like a
little bit.
little bit, but not as extreme as
Yeah.
Hagrid's accent
Yeah, for
or
sure.
Madame
But you would've
Maxime.
picked
They
up
both
an
have like
accent
real,
when-
real heavy accents. So I'm just assuming, all right, yeah, they
A
grew
year
up
in
in France
Australia,
and
You
whatever.
didn't have an accent after.
I did, an American one. And then I got back and I just kept the Aussie accent on.
That's actually pretty good.
So
I like that. You can talk like that all the time.
So I
And he's just gonna full on take an Australian.
to
personality.
try and do the whole thing like that. Jen, could Karkaroff have gone to Hogwarts?
Oh, now I'm allowed to talk. Sure. I don't know. I don't.
Do we-
I don't know the history of Karkaroff like you do.
And you know what else? I was thinking about Dumbledore. He pretty much had to go to Hogwarts, right? The only reason I say that is because we don't know the extent of what the Ministry is in charge of, where their realm is, but we know it's at least Great Britain. Probably also would encompass Durmstrang and Beauxbatons. We can kind of assume that, but we just don't know how much farther it would go. But we know that the English-speaking wizard OWL lady did do Dumbledore's OWL. So he went to Hogwarts or Durmstrang or...
Wait, what was her name?
Oh, we know her name? Oh, man, I don't know
Wait,
if I can remember her name.
The lady who was administering the OWL.
It was a good name, wasn't it? Because I don't know if we
Because this is gonna come up
did.
in a trivia question. This is my only mindset. We're gonna go to a
So
trivia.
Yeah,
every
yeah, we
time
gotta be
you're
ready.
getting
Whenever we
names,
can-
you're
Yeah,
Who
because
administered Harry's OWLs?
in my head, we didn't get her name. It was just like 3 old wizards. But now that you mention it, we might have. And you know what? I think Dumbledore, according to your theory, Jen, you pointed out the Gryffindor knocker on his door. I'm thinking he went to Hogwarts, he was Gryffindor, and that's already been confirmed for us somewhere else in the book. And then... What is going on over here?
Oh,
Someone on chat. No, never mind. I'll tell you guys after.
All right, classic.
Someone just said, I'll say this off my clip. Someone was like, oh, the Australian accent. How we just found Jen's king.
We were all thinking it. He's just saying it.
It was Becky.
Classic Becky. She would.
Oh, that's so funny.
So
that's not just.
did we find her name?
Madam Marchbanks. Thank you, Anthony.
Oh, wow. Yes, I do remember Marchbanks.
Yeah, right.
What?
Oh yeah, I remember.
I'm gonna check if it's on my list.
Yeah,
I think that was before
go
I started
check
making
in
my character
silence,
list.
so-
So here's another
John
point
can
too.
ask another question.
We'll kind of back onto this chapter. So right before Harry,
Hurry, he's reading.
Yeah,
no.
quick while I'm distracted.
right before they go and like find the necklace and they find Katie Bell, they find Mundungus Fletcher.
Yeah.
And this is the line that you get, which is rather shocking. Hold on one second. I hope the stream's still up because I just gotta.
Be careful.
I think we're good. Oh, it's so
Oh, yep, I got it. Griselda Marchbanks came to
Griselda,
do
that's
the
right.
OWLs with Harry's class and said that she gave Dumbledore his.
So you're gonna bring this when we go to trivia nights, right?
Okay, yeah. Griselda. All right, cool. Now
Oh,
we're
he's
back
gonna
on
study
track.
It, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the line that you get with Mundungus.
Everyone's gonna want your spreadsheet, by the way.
I know, seriously, we gotta post that after.
Oh yeah,
But here's
nice.
the line. Harry had pinned Mundungus against the wall of the pub by the throat. Holding him fast with one hand, he pulled out his wand. Harry, squealed Hermione. You took that from Sirius's house, said Harry, who was almost nose to nose with Mundungus and was breathing in an unpleasant smell of old tobacco and spirits. That had the Black family crest on it. So, one of my questions is, what was Mundungus stealing from the Black House? Is it an important thing for whatever he was doing here? 'Cause he just sold something to some old guy that walked away.
I feel like it's just like decorations or like props or. Because if it had the black.
Crest.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like it would be like a. Well, I guess it could be a family heirloom, but
Big time. It could be a lot of things. But
jewelry,
is
a
it that
ring,
vial of blood?
a necklace.
Literally, that's what I'm thinking, because we thought the only
Oh
way
my
things would escape House of Black was through Creature taking things that were thrown out. But now, this just opens up not just a theoretical long distance can of theory worms. This is like, we now know that, at least as far as the story is concerned, it would make a lot of sense for something important from House of Black to now be in the wrong hands. So I think this is our hint to say nothing in that house is safe. So if that's going to be the other end of the mirror, you know, if Harry's got the broken one and if there was another one, again, that theory was developed on pretty much nothing. But just the idea of Sirius gave Harry the mirror and said, you can like talk to me with this, and it never came back up.
So you think Mundungus just sold the mirror?
Potentially, or we don't even know if it was sold, and we don't even know if it went from Mundungus to the other guy. Could have gone from the guy to Mundungus, and this is just a separate branch of like, I don't know, conspiracy. But either way, it could be the mirror, could be the vial of blood, could be the that book that Harry smashed one of those spidery things with, the genealogies.
Because this was
It could be a lot of stuff.
This was all the stuff that they found in the house. They found an unpleasant-looking silver instrument, something like a many-legged pair of tweezers, which scuttled up Harry's arm like a spider when he picked it up. And it attempted to puncture his skin. Sirius seized it and smashed it with a heavy book entitled Nature's Nobility, a Wizarding Genealogy. There was a musical box that had emitted a faintly sinister tinkling tune
Oh, that
when
Ginny
wound,
slammed
and they all
closed.
found themselves becoming curiously weak and sleepy until Ginny had the sense to shut the lid. They found a heavy locket that no one could open. They found a number of ancient seals in a dusty box, an order of
Maybe
Merlin
that's it.
First Class that had been awarded to Sirius's grandfather for service to ministry. Those are the objects and the little knickknacks they found. So, is he selling all that stuff? Like, is that stuff dark magic? Is that stuff ancient magic?
Ooh, Jen.
Illustrated.
I would say yes. But I think I still view Mundungus as being relatively harmless, which seems to be how Dumbledore views him too. So I don't know if Mundungus would go in planning on grabbing one of those high value things, but like a couple of cups, a couple of plates, that doesn't offend me. But I feel like if he established a little bit of a black market relationship with someone and they're like, hey, you know what? Any chance there's a little, like, I love old books, you know? Any chance there are some cool old books in there you might be able to bring by? Then maybe like he was just hinting at it to like, I don't know. I feel like Mundungus may have accidentally sold something more important than he even realized. Again, just kind of assuming Mundungus as a member of the Order of the Phoenix is a good guy deep down. I think somebody may have played on his weakness, his sticky fingers, and used that to get a hold of something.
Sticky fingers.
But what would the blood
He's
be
the
for?
Sticky bandit.
Yeah, the sticky bandit.
Guys, from Home Alone.
Exactly. So Mundungus actually kind of reminds me a little bit.
So true.
Like a little bit of both of them.
Maybe she pulled it from him.
When you read the part about Mundungus, were you really mad at him?
No.
Were you guys shocked at Harry though? Because he's like strangling this guy in the
Yeah.
middle of a street.
Like pinned him to the wall, like
and he like knows
aggressive.
him too.
Yeah, that caught me off
That's
guard.
not-
I was
yeah,
like, whoa.
surprised.
He's in his anger phase.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
back in it, I guess.
I thought like, whoa, Harry maybe just never trusted this guy, or maybe there's just a lot of other stuff in Harry's mind right now, and this
Yeah.
was an outlet for him. But I was a little surprised. Had his wand out, and then like, I don't know.
Yeah, even when we mentioned like his anger phase, it's interesting because he goes in that in small little moments in this book, but they're like outbursts. Where like in the last book, I feel like they were much more constant. In this one, they're becoming less so, but he still has them. So he's like still learning to manage it. It's not just like everything's just shut off. So I feel like it's good growth. I feel like it's healthy growth. It's not just all at once that he like tried to fix his problems. It's like things are cropping up and he's like strangling people in the middle of the streets, but it's only like once every few months.
Yeah. Which is
That
it's
makes
not
sense.
so bad, and it was like for somewhat good reason.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's the same thing with Malfoy. He like came up with a theory. He wants to be mad at Malfoy, and he's going to be mad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No matter what,
Yeah.
like else is opposing it. When I read this, I wrote at the top that was Dung trying to sell the case, or did he just buy it? Because I tried to think about the reverse. What if other people had stolen things, or Creature did, and he's out collecting the
interesting, yeah.
stuff to bring it back? Again, I'm trying to view situations from multiple angles. And what if Mundungus really is a good guy, not a bad guy? Harry didn't give him a chance to even explain himself, just went straight for the throat. So I don't know. It felt a little intense, and maybe Harry is completely right, and we'll be mad at Dung later.
Yeah.
But like, there could be another explanation. We don't know anything.
I know for sure.
This could have been a gift from Sirius to Mundungus years ago,
Yep.
and Mundungus is crying every night because he misses Sirius, and he's just got to get this out of the house because it reminds him too much of Sirius. We don't know anything. So for Harry
ready
to
to hug.
go for the throat feels like chill. Just like I get it. We want to be mad, but just like let's gather information before we act.
Could Mundungus have been the one that sold that, or that gave the locket to Katie? Because we're talking about these objects, and all of a sudden this other object pops up.
He's a
And
man
this-
who gets objects.
Yeah, I know.
Mm.
He's the sticky bandit. Because
But
this
he
is
wouldn't have done an Imperius curse.
Wait, do we know it was Imperius?
Yeah, they said it. That
It was
she
like
saying
at least assumed.
erratic
Yeah.
things.
yeah.
It felt like she was
Katie
not
was.
in control.
And
yeah.
then what's her friend? I was like, oh, I should have
Leanne.
noticed the signs. Yeah,
Yeah, it could be.
I wouldn't think he would do it
I wouldn't either. But again, like
unless he was Imperious to then give it to her. And
layers
she
of
was
Imperious.
I don't know.
Can you do spells while you're Imperious? Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
we
yeah.
saw
Yep.
Crumb do it, and okay, cool. Wow, she could be Imperious.
So do
But that
you
just
think
stinks.
someone could be Imperious to give an Imperious curse on someone else?
Why not? Yeah, I guess it would be pretty intense. And I feel like I'm making it up, but the more layers there are to the Imperious, the more likely that far down the chain it would not go smoothly. It might not be a clean Imperious. They might not do exactly what you want them to do. Maybe you'd have less control over it, but I think the better the wizard, the more they could influence people down the
Yeah.
line. I bet Mundungus is boys with Borgin and Burke.
Yeah.
I get the feeling he's been there a bunch of times.
He's
He's sold
like-
them so much stuff.
Here's the analogy that I have for that. He's like the Todd Packer of the Office.
Oh yeah, you're so right.
Like he's their traveling salesman who like goes from place to place. He's like a scumbag, but
Yep.
I feel like he can come back in and kind of fit in at Borgin and Burke's.
Hmm.
Don't even know.
He could be their salesperson.
So it would make a lot of sense if Borgin or Burks, if they were like, "Hey, Dung, I need a delivery. You know, I'll give you a good price on this thing you just brought in. Just you got to bring this out to Hogsmeade and Imperius a student and get them. No, I don't know if he would do that much, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was on a mission for them.
Because again, this whole thing that happens is like shockingly scary. At once, Katie rose into the air, not as Ron had done, suspended comically by the ankle, but gracefully, her arms outstretched, as though she were about to fly. Yet there was something wrong, something eerie. Her hair was whipped around her face by fierce wind, but her eyes were closed and her face was quite empty of expression. It's like a terrifying thing, like seeing that happen. I mean, one of my questions,
Like
but I
Beast
feel like this is easy.
and Beauty
What
and
kind
the
of
Beast.
magic is this? What?
So it reminds me of Beast. Remember when he gets picked
Yeah,
up
right?
and he's
Yeah.
spinning?
Mhm.
And
Oh,
he
yeah.
turns back into a human.
Yeah.
In Beauty and the Beast.
But this is-
Ancient dark magic.
Ancient dark. Ooh, double whammy. Maybe.
Like, we haven't really seen anything like this.
Yeah,
We've seen
a
maybe when
human being
Voldemort was
levitated.
brought back in the potion, but nothing like this. This is like deeper, darker kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's just so interesting because what, like I guess I'm always like, why? Like, why is that a thing where you touch this necklace and you end up being tortured?
Yeah.
What was it protecting?
Yeah, why would someone curse an object like this? Like, is it for someone's enemies? Like, they just send it to someone and they can kill anybody they want? Like, maybe it just kills greedy people who want necklaces. I don't know.
I actually thought of it as being less evil and more of a protective thing. Like, again, thinking of the necklace as being a Slytherin thing. Like, it would do no harm to a Slytherin. It was more of, this can't be stolen. This is a protective charm of, like, if you touch this and it doesn't belong to you,
You
then
die.
that's very intense. But yeah, that's a Slytherin kind of thing, right? Like,
I don't know.
a lot of evil people have had this necklace over the years. We assume. I'm being a little harsh towards the Slytherins, but
Yeah,
at
now
least
you're gonna get the heat.
at least a few of the owners, like, what's his name, Gaunt,
Yeah.
Mr. Gaunt. Do we know his first name?
Wait, Mr. Gaunt?
Yeah.
Talking
What?
Borgin and Burke?
No.
The dad of Morpheus.
Yeah,
Morpheus. Yeah.
Whatever.
yeah.
I don't even care.
Marvolo?
No. Merope's dad.
Marvolo.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
Marvolo
Yeah,
Gaunt. Yeah.
But Gaunt, no. Isn't Gaunt the guy that went to check it out?
No,
The
that
Ministry
was
of Magic guy?
Ogden.
Why am I even? Yeah, just go. I don't know why I'm questioning.
No,
your
but
names.
that's all the names get confusing
Okay.
for all of us. But
And
basically, I was
so-
just saying it came from him. I assuming it's a Slytherin thing, to his daughter Merope, and then who knows what happened between Merope and now. But, like, if a dude like Gaunt and Merope, and, like, I'm just thinking from Salazar to them, and it seems like a bit of a Slytherin heirloom. He said that, right? He, at least the ring, I assume the locket too.
No, he made.
That's got some bad
that.
juju on it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Even if it wasn't on purpose, if it's only being worn by people full of hatred and racism, wouldn't that kind of, like, seep into a locket? Especially if it was a magical locket.
I'm more of like a pure. I don't know. It's something with the pure blood. How the dad couldn't stand like Muggle-born, mixed breed, anything.
And we don't know about Katie. That's why you asked before.
Yeah.
But you're saying anyone who isn't pure blood touching it could be.
Or maybe it's just like their family line. It literally has to be like their family line. You
Right.
can't take it. But I didn't think Slytherin. They weren't evil. It was just that
Right.
this family was
right.
off
The
because the
Gaunts?
dad and the son were crazy.
Yeah.
And
They
then-
are direct descendants from Salazar Slytherin, so there's that. They don't have a lot going for them on that. But
But I
this-
thought he wasn't evil then. The founder, he was, because then that
No.
proves my theory right.
Yeah.
No one got in my case.
it's interesting that you actually mentioned that too, because I feel like before this book, you kind of view Slytherins as being evil, and then
So
Aw.
cute. He wants like the fresh
Just gonna
air.
say.
Hurry up.
Wes is just looking
Longing
cute,
to go
looking out
outside.
the
I
window,
know.
feeling the breeze.
His
But-
like chin is resting on the window,
I feel
still
like I've
getting
never
the
done that.
fresh.
That's like his little perch. He
air.
just looks out, but he's never like rested his head up against it.
Hmm.
It's cute. But before this book, that I think that you kind of get the idea that Slytherins are always bad, but Slughorn changes that up a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
Like you don't think they're just evil; they're just ambitious, and they're just which
I
ambition
mean,
could be
I'm
a good or bad
still
thing.
a little.
Yeah, I know.
Just depends on your driving force.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You're right.
What's the worst amount of pain that you guys have ever been in?
Physically or mentally?
Physical pain.
I think I told my dune buggy story one time, right?
Oh yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
one.
I'm trying to think of another time of pain.
I don't know why I thought of this. Maybe it was when I was writing this question. I remember inflicting pain on you accidentally.
Whoa, cool.
When we were at recess and we were all climbing on the on
Cool.
goals or something like that, on like soccer goals.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
remember I
yeah.
climbed on one and I was putting my feet up on them, and they called recess to be done, and like I flung my feet off of it, and you were right underneath me, and my heel hit your shoulder blade like right here.
Oh,
And I remember
ooh.
for the you were like down for a few minutes.
What?
You were
I
like
literally don't even remember
completely
this.
down, and you got up and you were like, you can like barely move your shoulder. I feel like I popped your
Oh
shoulder. out or
my
something like that.
goodness.
And the rest of the day, your shoulder was like, you could barely move it.
You
I
remember?
just remember.
No, I literally don't.
Blacked
I
it
remember
out.
feeling so bad. I was
Oh
like,
wow,
"Where's
well
this
John,
start
don't
from
you
it?"
worry. You
Yeah.
can sleep at night. I don't hold it against you. Wow, yeah, I better dip into the archives. I've probably been in
Get your
pain in my
pen
younger
sleeve
years.
out.
Yeah, swirl some memories and find them. But yeah, inflicting other pain on other people certainly leaves more of a mark than the pain on myself.
Yeah. I remember it wasn't the worst amount of pain, but it's the most, maybe not the most recent, because that was like 10, 15 years ago. But when I played college soccer, I kind of broke my ankle. I didn't shatter it, but it was bad. There was the ball came out to, if anybody knows soccer, to the 18, and I took a touch, but it was a little too far, and I was like, I could have scored if it was a good touch, and I was so mad that it was a bad touch, and it was like a 50-50 ball, which means it was right in between me and another player, the defender, and I was like, I'm just gonna hit this with everything that I have in me, and I ran up to hit it, and the defender just got there half second early and just put his foot right under the ball, like right behind it, and I shot it, and my ankle just went to the other side of the ball, and I was like, I was just hopped up on adrenaline there, and I played for another 5 minutes until I actually collapsed on the field because my ankle hurt so bad. And so I got up, and
Oh my goodness.
the trainer looks at me and she's like, you were an idiot for playing that longer than as
5
soon as you
minutes.
did it.
Oh,
you should've
she
come
knew
off.
when it
she
happened?
Knew. She's like,
Yep.
I heard it. I heard ligaments pop
Oh.
in your leg. And she was like, yeah, sorry. So I remember that night was agony because it was like I had just ice, but I was trying to sleep, and it was like it was throbbing, but it wasn't like the worst. It wasn't like incredible pain, but it was bad.
But it's just stuck with you.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think
one
that
stuck
kind
with
of
me.
pain also is annoying. The stuff that just doesn't go away. It's not a momentary thing like getting hit
Yeah.
in the face. But
I've had so much.
it's just about ongoing things. Yeah. What do you got, Jen? Pain? Worst
I'm
pain?
always in pain.
I feel like so much of those.
Once you're over 30, it's like, what
Yeah.
doesn't hurt? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't hurt.
All right, just wait.
Oh, no, knock on wood. What's going on? Later today, I'm going to get hurt.
But when you play sports growing up, I feel like you're more prone to getting like competitive sports, or I guess anything. I'm just klutz, so I've had where dislocated my shoulder, got hit in the face with a pitch, got rode over by a bike with someone rode over my head with their bike with
Your
the
head?
Yes, my head.
How?
And I had a helmet on, but it slipped off. And then her chain guard, she didn't have a chain guard, so it was they're sharp. The spoke. I don't
Yep.
even know
Oh,
where
yeah.
the chain
Oh
goes
my
on.
Like-
Gosh.
How?
Oof. The
We
sprocket.
were racing on. I was
Ugh.
winning, of course, and I rode over a rock, and it turned my bike, and I fell. and she was
Oh.
right behind me because I was winning, obviously. And she had no time to turn, so she went right over my head.
Talking about our pain experiences, and you just throw in a quick note. I was winning, obviously.
Oh, except when I play him, I don't win anything. It's so annoying. Yeah, getting hit in the face with a pitch, that one really hurt. That's like you don't even know
Yeah.
where it came from. All of a
Yep.
sudden, I'm on the ground, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what just happened?
Hmm.
And it was my eye, my right eye. Like
Oh.
I could have broken my the bone here, but the
Oh.
helmet took most of it. But we didn't even have cages back then. We
I
just
know,
had like an
I know.
open face, so it hit
Yep.
the ear part, thankfully, mostly, and a little bit of my eye. Oh, that was bad.
I did that when I was in high school. I played baseball for a half a year, and I was terrible at it, but I could throw fast. So they recruited me on the team, and they're like, you can maybe pitch some games or something like that. They put me in for a scrimmage, and I was throwing, and I was like lobbing it. I was throwing like 40, 50 miles per hour, like nothing. And my coach just kept on the bench. He's like, Minima, I need. Oh, he's like, throw it faster, throw it
Man,
faster. Yeah.
that's what it sounds
He's like, throw it faster, throw it faster. So I'm like throwing a little faster. Not really. I'm still just trying to go for accuracy, like right down. And I just keep throwing it faster. Then he stops the game. He calls a timeout. He comes out to the mound, and he's like, John, I put you in for one reason, that you can throw fast. I just want you to throw the next few with everything that you have in you. So I'm like, all right, fine. So I get to the mound. I wind up, and I crank this one. I'm not joking. Like, I'm not a professional pitcher, but I had to have hit like mid 80s with this pitch. I flung it as fast as I could, and it just went right into his cheek, right below the helmet where that little thing comes up, right in his cheek. And he was down for like a half hour. He was down for on the ground. They were checking for he was
Yeah.
Oh
he was
my
moaning in pain.
goodness.
I remember inflicting pain on people more than
Yeah.
So there's another awful story, but
I did the same. In college, I was playing, I think it was shortstop or third base, because I was able to throw then. And this girl, it was co-ed, it was a rec, nothing. But I don't know how to change the way I play. So the girl is running to first base, and I chucked it, and it hit her square on the back as she's running to first base, and she does this.
Almost
and
took the
it-
breath away from
Yeah.
her.
I felt so.
Oh no.
I was
That's
like, I
so
am
funny.
so sorry.
Oh.
But in a way, everyone's like, oh, she's a girl, so how bad could it be as a throw? But
right.
fling it though. You were an
Ooh.
athlete.
back then. Anyways, yeah.
Ouch.
So I've done it to people too.
Hmm.
But
Before Kristen passes out from all these stories. Okay, why would someone want to curse an object? And what else do you think are curses on objects? Is there only dark things? This is the ability to put pain on someone. Is there any other thing that you can put on an object that's like a curse on it or something like that? Or some kind of spell?
I feel like you could kind of do a little of anything.
Yeah.
protective, I'd rather.
Yeah,
have
I was thinking, right,
protective.
because we know they can do that. The Weasleys did that with the
Yeah.
hats and the stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
So, yeah, if a hat or gloves or cloak, if they can all be charmed or made to be defensive, then you can kind of do a wide range. And no matter what we think the limits are, there could be wizards out there experimenting even beyond what we really know they can do. What if you could put any kind of potion into a vial, and then you wear your liquid luck on your neck, and just kind of gives you a little essence of luck as you walk around. I don't know.
A little essence.
So yeah, maybe there are little things you could charm to be anything along the way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What other kind of good charms would it be nice to have?
You
Are-
just sound like all of them.
No, I only listen to two. I'm just thinking of other magical things we've seen, like a sneakoscope. You wear it and it tells you what's going on. People being sneaky, remember all, tells you
Time
whatever.
traveler.
But that's still a practical thing. I'm wondering more of a general vibe. What if it was the same kind of thing as a remember all, but it helped you remember, so you'd be less likely to forget.
Yeah. I feel like there's tons of things you can do with taking a test. Ways you can cheat.
I know, cheating,
Yeah. There's got to be a ton.
Yeah.
protection, cheating, something to make you faster.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Seriously.
faster.
Something.
Cool.
That's an interesting one.
Better eyesight.
Yeah, right?
Like just like little
A
things like
medical
that.
one,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
a revival one.
What do you think the darkest thing that someone could do to an object is? Is this what it is? Inflicting so much pain on someone that they would die?
It seems like it.
I don't know if there's anything
There's
worse
always
than
something darker. I don't know what.
What would be darker than that?
that. Yeah.
Well, like what if people become in fury when they get a necklace put on them? You know,
Dang.
then
That's
they're
worse.
well, yeah, because then you're not really dying, but
You
you're
don't really become like an Fury is just like
It's just a
dead
thing they're
body
created.
reanimated. So
Oh,
it would
reanimated.
kill you, and then I guess it would make you.
Right, because like at least Katie Bell can have a funeral and her parents can mourn and move on.
At
But if she died, you know what I mean? But
Very
what?
least.
Just throw that in
You
there.
say it so like
Casual.
nonchalantly, yeah.
But if then the person was also coming back and being in fury, that would be that'd be bad. But no, I'm just trying to think of what could be worse than just like death. Because what did Dumbledore say about death?
Do you guys think physical? I'm like in a mental state today. Is physical pain worse, or would like living out your worst fears or like something like that be worse? I guess it depends on the person. That's where I went.
It does depend on the person, but that's a great point.
Yeah.
Because think of all the emotional.
What I was wondering is Katie
Or
Bell like, is
fear,
it
yeah.
physical or
That's a
is it
great point.
affecting her mentally, and then that's coming out through physical?
Wow,
Because
yeah,
get-
you're right.
That's actually fascinating. It's like scrambling her brain.
Mhm.
I feel like something that what you saw with Mrs. Weasley when she was trying to take over the Boggart.
Yeah, you're right.
That's kind of
Mhm.
your worst fears coming to fruition, and just you're stuck in a loop
Mm-hmm.
and you can't get out. And I feel like that's more of a torture, and that becomes physical pain because
Mhm.
like there's times when you experience some kind of emotional pain, and it actually translates into physical pain.
Hmm.
That's true.
Wow,
That would
there's
be
so many yikes.
That would be dark.
An anxiety
You can see where I
necklace
am
that just
today.
makes you anxious.
Oh, Kristen's a dark mind. That's like, yeah, for real, like an anxiety necklace that gives you like anxiety attacks all the time or something like that. Or like, I'm sure some
That
of these,
gives you anxiety
Yeah, just
attacks? Oh my
constant.
gosh.
like I'm sure these objects could be small too, so you can like sneak them onto a person or
Mhm.
something like that. Not just like a necklace, but you can do weird, terrible things with that.
Yeah. And I think some of that might be like they're not teaching it at Hogwarts, but again, if you start experimenting beyond what the ministry would want you to know how to do, the dark stuff, the hidden stuff, then maybe that's where it gets a little more wild and crazy. But I don't know.
Last question for this chapter. We talked about this before, but who was Katie giving the necklace to? Who was controlling her? Just give me one person
The Death
and one
Eater.
theory. Which one? A Death Eater? Yeah, I mean, it could just be a nameless person in Hogsmeade. It's packed right now, so it could have just been like, you know,
Yeah, it could have been one of the like crowd or
Yeah.
work bartenders or something. Could have been Malfoy. Could have been Crabbe and Goyle. Working for Malfoy. Could have been Snape.
To give her the necklace? Or to receive it?
Oh wait, did I mess that up?
no, this is good. Who gave it to her, and then who's gonna receive it? That was both my questions. So yeah, it could have been like, I mean, is there even something as in dark magic that like you can like a date rape drug? You can slip something into someone's drink, like maybe she
Yeah.
was drinking something and the Imperious Curse
Yikes.
washed over her or something.
And there are memory charms too, so it could be anybody
Yeah.
who just goes up, gives it to her, gives her a plan, then does a little memory charm, so she's like on a mission, doesn't even know why or who gave it to her. Or maybe you could even change somebody's memory so she thinks somebody different gave it to her. But I'm thinking Mundungus gave it to her, and even maybe just by receiving it, I don't know who she's supposed to give it to. I'm thinking Malfoy. That's like when I'm reading, that's what I'm
I
thinking.
know. Me
Giving it to
too.
Malfoy.
Yeah, to give it to him, not to kill him, but because it would be like a way that Malfoy can then use it. Again, we already know Malfoy's on a mission, right? So whatever his mission is, I'm thinking something about trying to kill Harry. He might need some tools.
Yeah.
He didn't smuggle anything in, and Goyle, I think, was the one who tried to smuggle in a shrunken head. So I don't know. We don't know, but I'm under the impression ultimately this came from Voldemort, but through a few people to end up in Malfoy's hands. Yeah, especially now that we know this was the necklace that was in Borgin and Burke's, and Malfoy seems like wanted this at the beginning,
Interested in it, yeah.
and then he still needs Dumbledore's broken ring to be fixed potentially if this theory is viable, and then he might be trying to steal that ring from Dumbledore, and maybe that's why Dumbledore grabbed the ring, because when you combine these two things, it's too powerful.
Maybe.
But what would
Maybe
he
it
do?
brings a bad side out of you too. I mean, the brother was crazy, and so was the dad. So I wonder if it together causes like evil chaos or like an evil duo.
Yeah.
And separated, it's less powerful.
What if Dumbledore's hand got black because he put the ring on that hand first and didn't realize that it was also cursed, just like the Katie Bell thing, and he was able to stop it before it like killed him or something?
Maybe.
And then he's
on
like,
the other
whoa.
hand.
And then he switched it to the other hand, but knew how to defend himself from it that time.
What?
Interesting.
Because the ring was on his left and his right was the one that got crazy.
Unless he broke it and then he put it on. Like maybe.
Oh, yeah, we don't know how it broke, you're right.
Solid. Put it on. Black
Oh, he had to
hand.
break it and
Then
then
he
put
had to
it.
put a spell on it, which cracked it, and then he was able to wear it. That seems kind of silly, but.
Yeah, I'm just confused about it because we're supposed to be, but.
Chapter 13, The Secret Riddle. Unless there's anything else Danny wanted to talk about that one.
Headmaster
Well, we'll
away
move on, 'cause
till
we gotta move on.
Monday. How?
The Secret
Why?
Riddle. Danny, give us a summary for this chapter 2.
Riddle. It wasn't a riddle. It was Tom Riddle.
Yeah, the secret riddle. I'm so excited to find
I
that
wanted
out.
a riddle, but okay. So basically, we go back in the Pensieve with Dumbledore and Harry. They both go back to a young Dumbledore when he goes to the orphanage where Tom Riddle is growing up, and they tell Tom that he can come to Hogwarts. So Tom figures out, learns that he is a wizard. He kind of already knew, and then he agrees to come to Hogwarts. So Dumbledore at the end kind of sums up, we learned a lot about Voldemort through this. Harry take note of a few things. So this is like we're seeing some of the first hints of evil in Tom Riddle. A lot of insight in his background.
What do you guys think of little kid Tom?
He was creepy then
Yeah,
and dangerous then.
Yeah.
it's true.
And he's only honed in on those talents, skill sets.
Yep.
He kind of gives like serial killer vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Kid.
true.
Also is interesting because I wonder, would he have been different if both his parents were still alive?
Yeah,
Is it like
right?
a bitterness from that has grown into this hatred for people? Or was he always going to be like that? Because her brother was crazy.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
And the dad was crazy too.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really, you can't really tell how normal she was because you're comparing it to two crazies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
I know.
So, not that normal if she put a curse on a
I know.
muggle, so.
She's
Yeah.
at least hiding her not normalcy a little bit better than the other two, but
And
I
what did?
thought-
Oh, what were you gonna say?
No, it's just interesting that he wants to be different and better than everyone.
Hmm.
And then the whole thing about the trophies, that he collects trophies from people he tortures and
That's
stuff.
a weird one.
That seems like serial killer stuff because don't they all do that? Like they save something from
That
who
is,
they
yeah, a
killed.
common
It's
thing, yeah.
So creepy. The fact that he didn't think his mom was the witch, that his
Yeah,
dad
no.
had to have been it because his
wizards
mom
can't
wouldn't have
die.
died. And I said that too. I was like,
Yep.
that doesn't make any sense. How can a witch or
Yeah, that's
wizard
right.
die giving birth? That seemed really weird to me. And that he hated the name Tom
yep.
because it was too common.
Yes.
He wants to be special.
He wants to
unique.
be, yeah.
Yep.
But I think also that's partly because he didn't have his parents and he's in an orphanage. So you want to stand out because,
And everyone kind of does, right?
Yeah.
but you don't like, because
But
you
not
don't
to
get
this
the
degree.
attention from parents, right? Like
Mhm.
you're striving for attention. But then the fact that he was able, like Dumbledore said, I've never seen someone have these skills so young and be able to like
Oh my
kind of
gosh, I
control
know.
them
Yeah.
and use them for something.
There were so
Hmm.
many red flags in this conversation, but like so many things. Yeah.
I
If you're
wonder-
Dumbledore's.
But I wonder if Dumbledore through this experience that then changed the way he was, because you were saying he was a little
Yeah.
more wild and risky.
That's
Younger.
true. Yeah,
And I
he
feel
was,
like
yeah.
he's like, oh shoot, why did I?
Like, I should have been more careful. What if I had like
Yeah.
been? Yeah, you're right. Maybe he got more
But even
conservative
seeing
through it.
all these things, you think he still should have. I guess he thought he could have helped him to fix these evil traits, and maybe he just needed discipline.
Mm.
Because I feel like you see these things, you're like, wait, I don't think it's good to train him in magic. Like, let him just
Yeah.
be as is in the Muggle world, and just
Yeah,
be
seriously.
like special there and not actually get any training. Because I feel like there should be some kind of test to be like, okay, are you going to be evil
Hmm.
or are you going to be good?
Yeah.
Midi chlorian count is or something like that.
A pre-test into Hogwarts.
But I also feel like it's possible Dumbledore knew he was going to be evil to a certain degree. Maybe there was even time turners involved or something, but it's possible he would have turned into the Dark Lord of some kind, even if he never went to Hogwarts. And this was Dumbledore trying to cut that off and
Yeah.
save him and say, come to Hogwarts, get trained. And Dumbledore was trying to like make him good, maybe.
Teach and discipline.
Yeah, because just based on what we're seeing, even in the Muggle world, I feel like he would have gone on to do some dark stuff. He was not going in a good direction. So maybe this was his only chance to maybe not become evil. But it was too late.
He also seems bipolar. Or he just knows how to really change his mannerism and the way he talks. Because he went from this erratic person to then wanting to get his way, and he changed to this polite kid. And when you listen to it, he does a great job. Tyndale. It changes really good. Like, it was good.
I feel like it's master manipulation rather than being bipolar. Maybe it's bipolar. I remember reading or watching this one little short clip on this one guy who was like, I don't know if he was a serial killer, but he was some kind of murderer, like not a mass murder, but he like murdered people and was just like a terrible person. And he had some like psychological thing wrong with him. And I remember they said you'll walk into a room and from the minute that he sees you, he will try to manipulate you. And one of his big things was he wants to know that he's smarter than you. So he will constantly like play on that. And I felt like that was for this, like Dumbledore is obviously smarter than him, and Dumbledore sees through his manipulation, but that would work on, I mean, how easy would that work on like Slughorn? Like a quick change of pace.
You're
like
right.
He's saying all this stuff and Slughorn's like, no, like call me sir, and then he does sir, and then Slughorn just like oozes into like what he wants, you know. I don't know if it would work on a ton of people, but like he just wants to be smarter than everyone in the room, which again is like the Slytherin ambition gone wrong. And he just wants to be unique and set apart. But this is like even some of these opening lines in this chapter. Said Dumbledore, perhaps she could, but it is my belief, I'm guessing again, but I'm sure I'm right, that when her husband abandoned her, Merope stopped using magic. I do not think that she wanted to be a witch any longer. Of course, it is also possible that her unrequited love and the attendant despair sapped her of her powers. That can happen. In any case, as you are about to see, Merope refused to raise her wand even to save her own life. So there's like even things in there like apparently you can raise your wand to save your life in some way for however she was about to die. And then what about this idea, unrequited love and attendant despair sapped her of her powers? Have you seen this before?
Tonks?
Yeah, right? Is this what
Kinda.
Tonks is going through? Like, attendant despair, unrequited love? Is she losing her ability to become a witch?
I think it's like you just don't feel like doing it, so you're not good at it. I don't think it's like you're losing your powers. Because it reminds me of like if you're depressed or something, like you just don't want to do anything. You
Everything
just
in the
want to
world
like
is gray.
sit.
Yeah.
And like that's not even being fully human.
Yeah.
That sounds like Petunia.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Petunia's powers were sad.
Well, just because
Got
again,
that one.
the red pill, blue pill moment. If Petunia decided no, or maybe
I
she
love
wanted to be a
Danny's
wizard.
Petunia. Every podcast he brings Petunia in.
You know, I just want her to have
Remember, I
her,
thought
her time
Merope
to
was
shine.
Petunia.
Yeah, right.
That was cool.
It lines up. She didn't really die. She just went on to find Vern and live a terrible little life of Muggle times. Whoa, that'd be creepy. What the? It's not the most crazy theory, but no, we kind of know she died because we trust Mrs. Cole.
Yeah.
But then again, we've thought that about people before, and then
Mhm.
they're still alive. So,
Your Crouch. No, not Crouch.
Crouch's mom.
Crockpot.
Yeah. Oh, man, I don't know. This opal locket must be pretty special. Maybe not. I was
Or
just
maybe
thinking.
could it have
Burke.
gotten cursed when she died?
Interesting.
Could it have been like you gave up your magic? You gave up on
Like,
the magical
she
world, so
sold it
now
to
it's
Burke,
cursed.
And
Wait,
then
actually
she
sold-
died
Oh,
for
yeah,
10
that's
galleons.
right.
But
That's
still,
right.
like, if it was connected to her somehow, or
Shoot, I forgot.
no, but
yeah.
she was the end of the line. Assuming this locket is connected to the line somehow, it would be like rightfully Voldemort's locket, maybe.
She
But
coulda-
she was wearing it.
but-
Maybe the ring is
or
for
is
the
it
guy and the. I don't know.
She betrayed the family line and it got cursed by selling
Because
it.
it wasn't in the hands of an heir of Slytherin, maybe
Yeah.
a little. Yeah, maybe. And I
That's
couldn't
so
tell.
sad that she got like nothing for it.
I know.
She didn't know its value, so it
I know.
didn't. It's so weird. And
She could have walked away so rich.
Yep.
Shows you Borgenberg or.
But then I
Oh,
also
Burke's
want.
character.
But then I wonder, like, if
He's
she
annoying.
was rich, would she have then?
would it have changed anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, could she actually have lived on and been like, I'm fine because I can support
Yeah.
myself?
Right. I don't
Hmm.
even think
But
she
I
would
think
want
she
to.
wanted. Yeah, she wanted someone to love her.
Yep.
Even if it was fake.
Hmm.
But who doesn't want that?
So this is even another line that was kind of interesting. It says, Harry says this. She wouldn't even stay alive for her son? Dumbledore raised his eyebrows. Could you possibly be feeling sorry for Lord Voldemort? No, said Harry quickly, but she had a choice, didn't she? Not like my mother. Your mother had a choice too, said Dumbledore gently. Yes, Merope Riddle chose death in spite of a son who needed her. But do not judge her too harshly, Harry. She was greatly weakened by long suffering, and she never had your mother's courage. Now, if you will stand, and they go into the pensive. What do you think Dumbledore means that Lily had a choice? Is that as simple as like she had a choice to sacrifice her life for Harry, or is there something else behind that?
I think there's something else.
Are you just saying that because I am asking? the
No,
question?
no, but just
Yes.
because
That's
there's
what
always
I
a
would
certain
say.
choice. Like she could run, or she could die fighting, or she could die knowing that it's not going to actually change anything, but just
Yeah.
out of love for her son, almost like more of the act of symbolism. So there's always a choice. The question is, will the choice like make any difference? I feel like Lily's choice was to say, I'm not going to, fight. I'm not going to do whatever. I'm just going to, I don't know. I'm imagining her like hugging Harry, like her choice was to spend her final moment like looking Harry in the eye, like that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Even if that's a little choice. And you might say her choice should be fight, and lunge at Voldemort. And maybe that's what she did. I don't know how this like love shield works. But either way, she had a choice on how to go, I think. And I think that's the same thing here where it's bringing up like Voldemort's mom. She had a choice, but I don't know what that choice was. She chose to die and leave her son, but we just don't know enough. Was she already cursed?
Yeah.
Was there something else, or was it literally her just like losing the will to live? I don't know. Ooh,
Yeah.
That's another Star Wars comparison.
I know. It's
Weird.
a Padme. I was gonna say that. It's like a little
Huh.
Padme reference right there.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, guys.
Can't
you
help
don't
it.
know?
I know
Padme?
that. Yes, that's the
Um,
mom of the twins.
Whoa, nice, Jen.
I know everything
Um,
about Star Wars. Star Wars?
Yep.
I don't know. I always mix them up. It's either Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's always
same to me.
gonna be.
Yeah,
Yep.
with this crew right here.
I mean, I've
Lord of
seen
the
Star Wars. just
Lord of the
once,
Stars.
Lord of the Stars. Is that what you said?
Merope Riddle chose death in spite of a son who needed her. I'm wondering what
Star rings.
needed her means. Like, was that needing her as every child needs a mother?
Yeah.
Or was it more? Was there something more about, like, if she was alive, he wouldn't have gone evil, or he at least wouldn't have been in the orphanage? But was this destined before that anyway?
I mean,
were
this-
there
yeah.
prophecies about him before?
Even that's a good even question, because this chapter talks, I feel like, a lot about the nature nurture discussion. For,
Yeah.
For like, is a kid born like this, or is a kid made like this? What do you think about that for Tom Riddle at the moment? Do you think that he was kind of born like this, or do you think situations made him like this?
I think he was born and then it was elevator escalated with
Mm.
his surroundings.
Yeah.
Because when you look at family, like the dad,
Yep.
his grandpa, and his uncle seem crazy.
Yep.
Like out of their minds.
And he could have gone either way. If his mom like
And I
cut
think, yeah.
them off, or cut her son off from those two, maybe he could have grown up being okay with being half blood. But if the uncle and the father or the grandfather kind of stepped in, kid had like no hope.
I'm curious why it says that Merope chose death in spite of, and I'm wondering if that's a distinction that matters, where Lily chose death because of a son who needed her.
Huh.
I guess I'm hoping that clarification matters, because
Wow. Okay.
does Voldemort have a love charm? You know what I mean? Does he have
But
or
like
not
a
charm?
spiteful one, like curse.
Ooh, wow, interesting. I was just thinking like not a defensive one, but you're right. Maybe he received
Whoa,
something,
What if, he was like love cursed, or he can't love anyone?
and that was part of what
'Cause
sent
his
him down the
mom
evil path because of the
Died
curse
of
of
spite. In
a mom
spite of.
dying.
Because you
Ooh,
do have that
intense.
line, which is like another interesting one, where people. Where is that one? Oh, I trust that you also noticed that Tom Riddle was already highly self-sufficient, secretive, and apparently friendless. He did not want
Friendless
help
and
or
alone.
companionship on his trip to Diagon Alley. He preferred to operate alone.
Yep.
The adult Voldemort is the same. You will hear many of his Death Eaters claiming they are in his confidence, that they are alone, that they are close to him. They even understand him. They are deluded. Lord Voldemort has never had a friend, nor do I believe he has ever wanted one.
So maybe the curse got on him.
There's a lot going on. I'm
I
trying to unpack because
Also, I was a little bit
yeah.
annoyed that Dumbledore didn't push for it. Like, yeah, I know you can do it on your own, but I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
Because I think that could have changed how he felt about others. Like, I know I can be independent, but it's nice to have the companionship. So I wondered if Dumbledore is like, yeah, that's okay, but I'm still going to meet you. If that would have changed
Yeah.
his...
I feel like he wouldn't have gone. Tom.
Right, like that might have
No,
been too
but like
much.
he would have just met him there. Like he
I
had
feel
no
like he would've
choice.
revolted.
Oh, like that would have been
like
yeah.
get away.
Like, I feel like he would have reacted really badly.
Like run away or escape or
Yeah.
something.
I could be wrong, but
But then he shouldn't go into the school.
I know.
Yeah, I mean-
Well, part of the question is should Dumbledore have denied entrance for this kid, because
But also,
Easy
what is
off.
the process of entering? Like, just because you have magic in your bloodline, you're allowed to get
Yeah.
schooled?
Yep.
It seems a little
We-
bit crazy.
we kind of also learned about Hogwarts. Dumbledore said something about the expense. He said we have like a fund
Yeah.
to help with the cost of robes and books and wands or whatever. But he didn't mention tuition. So in my mind, that confirms that tuition isn't a thing in general at Hogwarts. The expense is only to get your supplies.
But
So-
then how do the teachers get paid and have a living? They
know.
don't. They just live.
That's a
on
good
They have
question.
a huge endowment.
Huge endowment.
Hogwarts, come on.
But honestly, they must, right?
I don't know.
Huge.
Yeah, whatever.
Because, I mean, I think of it as a classic old school. What does Princeton have? 32 billion, I think it is. They're one of the biggest. And all the big schools are in the
I
15,
don't know. You guys are the finance
20.
people.
30 billion. And once you have an endowment that big, you can pay all your teachers
Yeah.
for life, for
Don't worry
eternity.
about anything I know.
I'm wondering why Lily had courage, even though she also died. Something about her choice involved courage, and Merope had a choice, and she was not courageous.
Well, I like
so
your comparison there. That was an interesting one. Like, she died rather than in spite of, she died because of her love, rather than in spite of her love. I think that's like an interesting one. I feel like when I was reading this chapter, if I was a high school English teacher, the biggest question would be compare and contrast Lily and Merope. and compare and contrast Harry and Tom Riddle. Because you even mentioned that, Jen, with they should have forced Dumbledore should have forced Tom to come along with him to Diagon Alley. Notice how he changes his tune with Harry. He doesn't go himself, but he sends Hagrid, and it's like Hagrid introduces him into the wizarding world. Harry doesn't have a choice if he wants to do it on his own. That option isn't even available. It's like you don't even know that Harry doesn't even have a choice. It's like this guy just ushers him into the wizarding world. So that's interesting. That's like both of them compared is like I feel like the huge part of this chapter, but it also does mention that Dumbledore's hair is red. Do you think that he could be a Weasley?
I could hope. I really could hope. We don't know if Dumbledore
time traveling Ron
is one of the families. Whoa, man, nice extra credence to that. Like, is the Dumbledore family one of the 29 wizarding or 27 wizarding families, whatever it was? Well, I guess there are only so many pure
Sacred
families.
28.
They would all have to cross over at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's some. He's got some Weasley crossover. That'd be so great. Or maybe it is Ron. You know. I also, again, couldn't tell what year this was at first when we were like trying to figure it out. Just because the horse-drawn milk cart. Again, back to our early discussion about the milk thing. But horse-drawn, I'm like, horse-drawn milk carts in London? Like, that must have been a while back, but maybe London was enjoying throwback milk deliveries. Because this would have to be in the 50s or 60s or...
Yeah.
No,
a little earlier.
Because he was 11, so post 1945, Dumbledore fights, whatever. Then he becomes a teacher if he wasn't headmaster, but he did call it my school. So it was hard to tell if he was just a teacher or the headmaster.
Yeah.
But either way, all right. So 50s, yeah.
And he's an odd kid too, because this is another line. And then Mrs. Cole took another swig of gin, slopping a little over her chin this time. On the summer outing, we take them out, once a year to the countryside or to the sea. Well, Amy Benson and Dennis Bishop were never quite right afterward. And all we ever got out of them was that they'd gone into a cave with Tom Riddle. He swore they'd just gone exploring, but something happened in there, I'm sure of it. And well, there have been a lot of funny things. Again, going back to Jen's point, should there be an entrance exam or like an examination on the person to accept or deny their entry?
To accept or deny?
Dumbledore knows
not
about
the
these
individual.
Things. Like, should he let Tom come into the school with this stuff going on? You almost like that they do,
but I feel like you do like a mental test, and then they go to like psych classes or like see a therapist while they're going to like.
Yeah, right.
Regular classes, because obviously something's wrong.
Where's the Hogwarts therapist? Seriously.
Do they have
yeah, that's a weird one. And also we got...
Don't let Dumbledore hire them.
Yeah, seriously. Dumbledore was talking about in a few pages where basically no matter what Tom Riddle did, his name was like written. He was a done deal for entrance into Hogwarts. So that also felt a little funny where I was like, oh, this is not even something Dumbledore controls. That with the Sorting Hat or something was already like, yep, go invite this kid. He's magical, right? Like, it felt like it was a little bit beyond just something Dumbledore could choose. I'm going to find where it... his name has been down for our school since birth. And so that's just weird because at birth, do they already know who's going to be a wizard? Or do they write all the names down, even if they might be a squib? Or are squibs not even real? And it's only a choice people make, and then they call them squibs, even though they made the choice at some point. But either way, it felt weird that his name's been down since birth. Because, again, that implies that there was a knowledge of his birth. Which up until this point we kind of assumed nobody knew, and it was like some secret hidden thing. I mean, it is the secret riddle after all. So, but his name's been down since birth. Where? Why? Yeah. How?
I also love, this is a little off topic, but how J.K. Rowling, she introduce Squib without actually having to like fully explain it, because she brought it up in like book 1 or 2.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
that is so cool, because then they talk about it now, and you're like
Yeah.
actually know
Yep.
what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love, that's her thing too,
She's
right?
a master at
Yeah,
that,
she's so good
Just
at
like
that.
a little hint, an explanation, and then it
Yep.
comes up 3 books later.
Hmm.
This chapter
Anyway.
is full of that stuff too. It's like so good. There's so many callbacks to things that you learned like in previous things. Even just like small things of putting things in your mind. I remember in the 4th book, you got a few chapters before the vanishing stare happened, where Neville got caught in the disappearing
Oh,
step,
yep.
and then a few
Yep.
chapters later, Harry is on his way down and he gets stuck in it. You know, so small little things that she mentions are just brilliant. Like she is so good at putting small details in there that come up later.
Speaking of small details, no, one other little thing here that I think is interesting, where Dumbledore says, "I think you'll find it both rich in detail and satisfyingly accurate," talking about his memory, which I think is maybe a slight pat on the back. Like he's like, I have really good memory, Harry. But the fact that he said accurate feels strange, because it made me question whether, I wrote, aren't memories always accurate? Kind of implying no, they aren't. Does that mean some of these Pensieve trips might be flawed? If Dumbledore is saying this is going to be rich in detail, satisfyingly accurate, he could be talking about how accurate it is to Voldemort's current personality and being able to like identify similarities, but he could be talking about the memory itself. Again, we had mentioned that in the past, like in a Pensieve or in someone's memory, if Dumbledore was pulling in Moody when he was Crouch Jr.'s memory of the trial, can that influence what it looks like? If somebody has a warped memory of an event, does the Pensieve see it as pure and true only, or do you see their warped version of the memory? So this line makes me think not all of these memories will be 100% accurate. So we'll see.
Well, yeah, memory is your perception of what
Yeah.
happened too, right?
Yep.
And it feels like there's a certain level of subconscious memory too, because Ogden, we were in his memory, he was hearing Parseltongue. We don't hear the Charlie Brown wah 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 wah.
Yeah.
We are actually, Harry is able to understand it. So the memory was so good that he remembered words he didn't even understand in the form of Parseltongue, enough that Harry could then later hear it and understand it. So like there is a subconscious level to all this. Like there is a purity to these memories.
Do you think that they're going to encounter memories that are tampered with later on?
Either,
Or, like,
yeah, inaccurate,
falsified?
on purpose, or I was thinking more likely just degenerated, or like, for example, if they go to the Longbottoms and say, what happened that night with all that, like,
man.
are they going to be able to remember that night? Would they be able to pull memories out of somebody like that where their mind isn't what it used to be?
Yeah.
And then what happens when you try and pull memories out from there? Or if somebody it's just a long time ago. Like Dumbledore is clearly very good at this. A well-organized mind, maybe. And so, I don't know. But I have a feeling we're going to encounter some memories we
What
can't
about
trust
like
fully.
legitimacy or whatever?
Like if that would
Could
impact the memory.
Could you twist it
Yep.
by going into there?
That is a great question. Technical issue number 8.
But I don't want to move this at all. I think the camera just went out.
We're still here, people. In voice only.
Maybe.
Maybe. We hope.
Danny, keep narrating.
But have no fear. We're not going anywhere.
Change batteries real quick.
Battery
Almost
issue.
done.
But don't worry. John's running to get them. You can't hear him, but there's eagerness in his stride. He's coming back. Running down the hall. Wes in tow.
In this room than it is in every other.
Because we're getting so spicy in here talking about Harry.
So is he your hot tamale?
No, not this chapter or these chapters. Well, maybe. I can't rule it out.
You really can't be silent.
No, I can't. Maybe because when I listen to podcasts, I just hate hearing silence.
Oh, yeah,
Whenever
yeah,
I hear it, I'm
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
ugh. Also,
It's
I'm
funny being
usually
in the moment.
yeah.
It's
you
like
you know
can't.
it in the moment. I'm like, well, when I listen at 2 times, even then, it's sometimes too slow for me. I'm like,
Really?
Two? Whoa.
Yeah. Well, especially if
It
it's like an
depends
older
on-
guest is on something. I feel like usually the older someone is, the slower they talk. So sometimes it's like the host of the podcast, it's 2 times as good. But then the guest, I'm like, I need like 3 or 4 times for this person.
Yeah, some people talk so slow. There's like a weird thing with podcasts sometimes where people, they feel like they need to talk slower because it's like, their radio voice. So sometimes you listen to a podcast where someone's like drawing out their words. You're just like, talk faster, talk normally.
Get to the point. It's
I know.
long form entertainment as it is.
I know.
Don't make it longer.
Okay, sorry, we're back. Yeah, is it alarming that Voldemort can do this level of magic at this point? And
All of it's alarming.
yeah,
Yep.
because
I
you only
think
get
so.
Harry doing a few things. He's able to do. He's like almost controlling his magic now, which is
Very
Scary.
much. And it almost feels like he's a natural at things like legilimency and occlumency, stuff that Harry can't even do now.
Yeah.
It feels like it could be the stuff in the cave. We don't know, but like almost feels like that, or memory charms or something. Like he's just very, very advanced. And the part that really threw me off too, controlling animals. At first, we thought maybe Parseltongue,
Yeah.
maybe snakes. And he did say that later. He would, they'd come to him and he would whatever. But then I was like, but we're talking about the rabbit hanging itself. And he said animals. It feels
Was
like...
that a stuffed animal?
Wait, what?
It was not a stuffed animal, the rabbit.
No, I think that was a real...
That was a real rabbit.
That was somebody's pet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
thought it was
Right
a-
now.
No,
I thought
that
it was
dark.
a stuffed animal.
It'd be nice if it
And I
was.
was like, oh, that's like
This is 100%
comical.
some serial
This
killer
this
stuff right
is...
Yeah, so then why would... Oh my gosh. This
I
seems
know.
so dumb. Let's bring him to
Yeah.
the school.
here. There is a point where
Oh my...
it's tough because it's a kid. So it's almost scarier
Yeah.
that he's a kid and he's doing this. But
Yeah,
it's
because
also
this is like
oh,
how to
maybe we-
make a murderer.
Exactly, yeah. It could be that, or it could be like, we can rehabilitate this kid. He's gone through a lot. Let's work through things.
But they didn't do that. They just
I
put him
know.
in classes.
I know.
You have to like take him to a mental hospital.
Yeah.
And again,
Hospital.
it shows how different Harry and Voldemort are, because I think Harry's situation growing up was worse than Tom's. Like, I would
Yeah, but
rather be
it-
in an orphanage than be with the Dursleys. to be
You're right.
honest.
You're right.
Um,
Ooh, that's a great
And
point.
Harry was
But
resilient.
he
to the point
also
where
He was
knew he had
resilient.
family.
For sure, yeah.
Voldemort
That's
had
that's a
no
great point.
family. Even if they don't like you, there's blood related, and
Yeah.
there's some kind of protection,
That's
like
true. There's a lot
love,
of angst with that, I guess.
versus
great point.
literally no one.
Yeah. And we don't know that much about Mrs. Cole. It appears everything was good, but,
but I know.
everyone's wearing gray, and they're all the gray sheets and gray clothes, and like, ooh,
I
just
didn't even pick up on that.
it does feel a little bleak at this place. So I do get that.
Yeah, but if you start seeing signs of like a crazy person, then I don't know what you would do in an
Hmm.
orphanage kind of thing.
Right.
Ew, it's so creepy. I didn't realize this was real
Yeah.
animals.
it took me a while to realize that this was a Muggle place, a Muggle orphanage.
Yeah.
So I was reading this as if it was a wizard orphanage.
Like you said, St. Mungo's before.
Yeah. And then it took me until like way far in where I was like, oh, that's why everything seems crazy. I love that Dumbledore still knew she liked Chin and was
Yeah.
like set that up with the glasses.
Oh my gosh, Jim Dale reading it is hysterical. She sounds so drunk.
That's great.
He does a good drunk voice.
It
Oh,
is
that's
I remember with
awesome.
Winky,
so
listening to
funny.
Winky. He's a
Oh, yeah.
great
With the
drunk
hiccuping,
Winky.
he did such a
Yeah.
good job. Yeah.
I didn't realize until I was looking up Jim Dale the other day that he was the crazy guy, magician man in Pete's Dragon, a movie I used to
That's
love as
right,
a
yeah,
kid.
yeah.
And so he came up somehow because he's being honored for something. I don't remember.
I think he's being honored for some of his voice work that he's done.
Yeah, like something kind of recent. Again, I like scroll quick when that stuff comes up, but then I was like, wait, what? And I looked at the IMDb and saw that he was in Pete's Dragon. I thought that was funny. I don't think I've seen anything else he's been in, but I have to watch it again, see how he does.
Do you think that Dumbledore has a problem with thinking that people are good? Like, all people are good? Because he should have denied... Like, is this... Maybe my question is this a tell for Snape? Is Dumbledore such an optimist that he thinks Tom Riddle can be rehabilitated and he's good?
I know.
And
I
is this the
could
same
see
thing that Dumbledore thinks for Severus Snape?
Oh,
It's the same thing he seems to think about a lot of people.
Yeah.
Lockhart.
He wants to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
That there's hope in them.
Which is a
Quirrell.
beautiful thing. Giving people a second chance and
It is.
seeing the benefit of the doubt, but it's also a very dangerous thing.
Yeah. He's optimistic for sure. And is there a certain optimism even in Harry? Like, is there a darker side to Harry we haven't seen yet that
Yeah.
Dumbledore is hoping to avoid to save Harry somehow too? But
We haven't really seen something similar.
no,
to
we don't see the
Tom
same kind
Riddle,
of darkness
so
as that. Yeah.
I don't think.
But I don't know. Yeah, he's optimistic. I tend to trust him, but we've seen a lot of mistakes
Yeah.
out of Dumbledore.
Yep. And these are, let me just read some other lines to you in this chapter that are like kind of chilling lines. And there's stuff that we've touched on before. He said, he believed it much quicker than I did. I mean, when you told him he was a wizard, said Harry, I didn't believe Hagrid at first when he told me. So you have that, and then even before that, I knew I was different, he whispered to his own quivering fingers. I knew I was special. Always. I knew there was something.
So creepy.
I know,
Yeah.
like the whole interaction is
But
just
the best
creepy.
is that he changed his story. He told Dumbledore when he first came, I felt like, you're not going to send me to like a special
yeah,
school
yeah.
because I'm fine, or like something, I don't know the line was. And then once he was told it was magic, he's like, yeah, I knew that. But he
Yeah.
was playing it like, there's nothing wrong with me.
Yep, like he wanted to just be smart all the time.
Hmm.
Also, if your mic keeps going down, you just crank that as tight as you can.
I think I put it down at first because I was
Okay.
slouching.
Gotta work on our posture.
Thank you, though.
Voldemort said it a few times, or maybe we'll call him Tom Riddle before he's Voldy. He said, "Tell the truth," and I'm wondering if that's like he's reading people's minds already. If this is already like he knows
my
they're
gosh.
lying, and he just is saying, "Tell the truth," because he
Yep.
can see that they're not. I don't know.
Have you guys seen the movie Dune?
I paid for it and downloaded it, and I'm gonna watch it soon. But that's one I have to watch
Yeah.
while sitting down watching a screen, like
Yeah,
a big
for
TV,
sure,
not
yeah.
on my phone.
In the
You know.
dark, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a
Um,
scary movie?
No, it's well, kind of. There's like some scary elements, but it's like a it's
You're
like
gonna
a
watch it
fantasy
without
realm.
me?
No, maybe that's why I haven't
Yeah, I
watched
know.
it.
Exactly. It's a fantasy.
It's the
realm.
first in a
It's
series though,
weird.
so that's why it's like it's
Yeah.
worth watching together, taking the time to
People
do it
talk
right.
about the books, and people say you should only read like the first 2/3 of the first book because that's where the action is. Everything else, all the other books that the guy published, are just world building. And one of my friends read it, and he said it's the single greatest bit of world building that he's ever read in his entire life. But it's boring what happens in the books. Like the guy invented like hundreds of religions. He invented like hundreds
Wow.
of languages. Like this, he built his whole world. But in in the movie, you see that they use this thing called the Voice, which it's not a ton of people have it. These like prophetesses have it, and they can say something and like it's a deeper voice. It's like they find the pitch for it, and the person just immediately does what they want them to do. And you almost get that with Tom Riddle here. Like he feels like he's using like in a actually terrifying way. You feel like he's using legitimacy against Dumbledore here. Like tell me the truth, trying to like insert himself into his brain, saying tell me the truth here, using this weird voice. But he's not getting anywhere because Dumbledore is obviously a much better wizard than him at this point.
A commanding tone.
Right?
Tell the truth. Oof.
Should hear it.
Creepy. Jim does it right.
Yeah.
That whole chapter was really good, yeah.
Another random thing to note. I'm just rather than wait till the end when you're like anything else. New Year's Eve, just feels like funny timing. Just like
Yeah.
to give us that thing of New Year's Eve, and that his mom arrived. 1 hour later gave birth. 1 hour later died.
Yeah.
Just like that timing is just really interesting. So Christmas she sold the locket, and then New Year's Eve she was dead a week later, and Tom was born. We don't know the date or the timing or if that even matters, but it just feels like interesting. The start of a new year. Like I could just imagine him being born at midnight. You know what I mean?
That's a
Or
little- yeah, a
could
little
Tom
creepy.
being born suck the life out of her? Did she die
Right,
because
yeah.
of it? Or he's just so evil.
I know.
He just
Yeah.
took it all.
Yeah.
Leaves
she
you
wasn't
all
as
sorts
brave.
of questions about like fate and determination, all that kind of stuff in this chapter.
Hmm.
And on even another side note, this was the only big spoiler in the video game, Danny, because there's a character that comes from the House of Gaunt, and they mentioned it.
No way.
So I think that
Oh
was
my
like in there
goodness.
somewhere in the beginning of it. or
Wow.
something like that. So
It could be, but to be honest, I was getting hit with so much in the game
yeah,
that
it's a little
it,
overwhelming.
I don't know if you do this, but sometimes when you read a book, not this obviously, but in the past, if the words, the towns, the names are too long, you just kind of like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You like blur them as you go, and you're like, you just remember who it is, but you don't even know how to pronounce it or anything. That's what it was with the game. It was just so many things come my way that I was like,
Yeah.
I just kind of went through it and ran through. It was great, but yeah,
Here,
I do not remember
here are a
that.
few other lines too. Did you know then, asked Harry. Did I know that I had just met the most dangerous dark wizard of all time, said Dumbledore. No. I had no idea that he was going to grow up to be what he is. However, I was certainly intrigued by him. I returned to Hogwarts, intending to keep an eye upon him. Something I should have done in any case, given that he was already alone and friendless, but which, already, I felt I ought to do for others' sake as much as his. Then he goes, firstly, this is stuff we'll talk about. This is the last stuff in the chapter we'll talk about, unless Danny has anything else. Firstly, I hope you noticed Riddle's reaction when I mentioned that another shared his first name, Tom. Harry nodded. There, he showed his contempt for anything that tied him to other people, anything that made him ordinary. Even then, he wished to be different, separate, notorious, to shed his name, as you know, within a few short years of that conversation and create the mask of Lord Voldemort, behind which he has been hidden for so long. I trust that you also notice that Tom Riddle was already highly self-sufficient, secretive, and apparently friendless. This is the line I read before. He did not want help or companionship on his trip to Diagon Alley. He preferred to operate alone. The adult Voldemort is the same. You will hear many of his Death Eaters claiming that they are in his confidence, and that they alone are close to him, even understand him. They are deluded. Lord Voldemort has never had a friend, nor do I believe that he has ever wanted one. This is the last line. And lastly, I hope you are not too sleepy to pay attention to this, Harry. The young Tom Riddle liked to collect trophies. You saw the box of stolen articles he had hidden in his room. These were from victims of his bullying behavior. Souvenirs, if you will, of particularly unpleasant bits of magic. Bear in mind that this magpie-like tendency for this particularly will be important later. Why? Why is that important?
Like evidence maybe of things he's done,
Or maybe he's
That feels too
collecting those
shallow.
jewelry things that are powerful.
like from his ancestors, like the
But he kills them.
wait,
though,
who
so
had
that
the
makes
okay?
sense.
The sword was a sword of Gryffindor, right? Do we know what the Slytherin thing was?
I mean,
You give me that nerd look
Yeah.
right now. Well, just because it feels like the founders all had things, right? Like
So-
the sword and what else? So, like, what would Salazar have? Is it just this jewelry, or was there more?
The basilisk.
yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
There is the thing that the Gaunts have. What's the piece of jewelry that they have? That
It was
The
has a
ring
Slytherin crest on it.
the
And the
necklace.
opal locket. Was there a
Yeah.
Slytherin crest on something
So I
else?
think both of so the ring and the locket were both Slytherin objects, right? And they had them passed down.
we're left to believe that, yeah. And Dumbledore kind of confirmed it here. Like
Yeah.
the necklace we're talking about here is the one from Burke, God,
Yeah.
and the whole thing. So, yeah, I remember a crest being mentioned at some point, but I don't remember the specifics. But yeah, we're
Or
left
maybe
believing
he
that the
can-
locket and ring are both Slytherin things.
Yeah.
Or maybe he gets all these objects. He can make them have some kind of power, like all the powers from each wizard or witch he killed is in an object, and then once he has a certain number or collection, he could do another powerful spell.
Right,
Or
like
suck
what if he
the
wants
years
collecting
of life
all
out
of it?
of them, and he can add it to his own life.
Because what if he gets the sword of Gryffindor, and then he's got the Slytherin things, and he also needs to get the Hufflepuff shoes and the Ravenclaw.
I'm just saying, like, it could have been
Coat.
anyone. Like, it doesn't even have to
Oh,
have
you mean
to
just
be-
like all random jewelry from, or
Yeah, like any kind of possession from
So-
someone he killed,
Yeah,
and
'cause
then
these
he
are so
can get like
random.
the number of years that they live. He can like suck those lives out of it.
interesting, like
I don't know.
he can
That's
like
such a random.
yeah, like what could a
far-fetched.
thing? Why start collecting trophies when you're 11? He
'Cause
had
that's
3
what
trophies,
murderers
right?
Do.
It
They
is,
like
yeah,
to,
you're
like,
right.
reminisce on like their previous kills by seeing their collection.
A yo-yo, a silver thimble, a tarnished mouth organ. So that's 3 objects, and he bullied 3 people. Rabbit Kid, the 2 cave people. So did he steal a thing from each of them? And they signify the person, but like also they were left to believe those 3 were muggles. So why keep a trophy from a muggle victim? And what good is it? Unless the magic,
Well, he
the
said they
life
keep
force
it
he's
in
trying to
mind
take.
for later, yeah.
Maybe it doesn't have to do with wizard and muggle. It's just all people have it. Ancient magic.
There it is. Done deal.
Woo, we got there. I don't know. The trophy thing is strange because it.
But it's not if you're looking at it like a murder.
Yeah, like it
Just
could
collect
mean
mass
nothing
murder.
more. It might just
Like
be a
his-
literal trophy.
Even they keep like
His
the
calling card.
parts of them and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like so gross.
Like there's a whole wing of the little Hangleton Manor where he just has trophies lining the walls.
So like everyone, you think he has a trophy of everyone he's killed or something?
That would
Maybe.
make sense.
I know it does.
I wonder if he did what Dumbledore said and gave these things back, or if he kept them. And also at the end, Dumbledore makes the contrast of, well, that mouth organ, that's a harmonica, right?
Yeah.
Or is
I
it a
think so,
different?
yeah.
Well, like he's like that mouth organ was just a mouth organ,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
he's contrasting to the ring that Harry saw wasn't on the table anymore. So it brings up the question, 2 questions. Where is the ring now? Is Dumbledore still wearing
Yep.
it? It sounds like it's gone. And then what is special about the ring that it is not merely a ring? We have always suspected it, but what?
Yeah, that's the question.
Hmm.
That we just don't know.
I did think it was interesting that it was Dumbledore, I think, was the one speaking. He says he was alone and friendless, which is the wording Trelawney had in her demon prediction in
Yeah.
book 3.
Yep.
But the fact that Dumbledore said he's never had a friend, now I'm playing with ideas of the timeline we assumed back when Trelawney gave that prediction to Harry. We assumed that was the one about like midnight, and it seemed very like tonight, but I'm just playing with the idea of, could it have been taken out of context? It was meant for a different time. Oof, wait, midnight. That's so weird. He could have been born at midnight too. I don't know. I have to play with it more, and I don't remember the specific thing, but like, this is how my brain works. So, well, just the idea of like he was alone
So
and
your brain
friendless,
does work
but
like
then
that
Dumbledore is
sometimes.
saying he's always been alone and friendless, and kind of always will be. He doesn't even want a friend. But then he was going to have like help come to him at midnight, and we were reading it in book 3 as being during book 3. But if he's born at midnight, I'm just like, is there anything there? Did he gain any
No.
friends here? Could it have been a prediction about Dumbledore? What time did Dumbledore come into this place? Was it also midnight?
Servant, the one that ran out, the coward, and
Yeah.
It mentioned all of that stuff
What's
in the
the third
prediction,
one?
didn't it? Yeah, you're right. So maybe that is still just the straight read book 3, Alone and Friendless, but it was implied that after his loyal servant came back to him, or whoever it was that returned to him, it was implied that he wouldn't be alone and friendless anymore. But maybe I was reading into it where I should.
But I also find it so interesting, like we've brought up multiple times, that Voldemort, like, why does he have friends and followers? He doesn't
Yeah.
have friends,
Why
but
does he
he
need them?
has
Why?
followers. But literally, it's saying like he doesn't care about anyone.
He's
So,
just
like-
manipulating them, but to
Mhm.
what end?
But yeah, like, what are they gaining out of this? That's what I still don't get.
Yeah, me either.
I think that they're all deceived. They think they're gaining something, but they're not. Like
They're
us,
gaining
from our perspective,
friendship.
yeah, they think that they are. They think they're becoming
Right.
buddies with the most powerful wizard of all time, and they think they're gaining power in that way.
Mhm.
They think they're getting some kind of authority, but they're not, because Dumbledore, or not Dumbledore, Voldemort is just using them completely, like utterly and completely using
Yep.
all of them, and they don't know it because they think they're friends with them.
That is,
Manipulation to its
Yeah.
and
crap.
he wants to accomplish something regardless of who he hurts along the way, even people we think are on his side. But that's the part I'm confused by, because we don't know what he wants to do, what he's trying to gain. And if he doesn't want any friends, like, it feels weird. Like, does he have some weird loyalty to his ancestors, and he wants to restore Slytherins to some kind of superpower? Is it about purebloods? But if he's got no friends, what does he care about purebloods and Muggleborns? And that feels a little off too. So is it as simple as he just wants power? But even that feels like, well, power for what? Power to accomplish what? We just don't know. Or is it just some kind of
I think he's looking
sick
for immortality.
game? Yeah, like something like that. He just seeks immortality, and yeah,
Because he says,
and that's enough.
in the first book, I who have gone
Yeah.
further than anyone on the quest for immortality.
Yeah.
Immortality. Something like
It just
that.
feels strange because, like, well, what does that get him? Well, I guess what does it matter?
But yeah, honestly,
just wants to be
but
immortal.
he doesn't
Yeah.
care about any other emotions. So like, of course, you're gonna want to live then forever, right? I don't know. Like, you just want to be the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
So the best in the world is outliving everyone.
Yeah. There's
I
a
guess.
point to it. This is almost a side note on like a psychological discussion. If Voldemort ever arrived at that point, I feel like he'd be bummed. It
Yeah.
wouldn't meet his expectations. There's a point where like you see like even certain professional athletes, but there was a whole deep dive on Bobby Fischer for this, that he was so bored of playing chess because he was so much better than everyone else that like he would just mess around in games because he was like, there's no point to this. And then he became unbelievably paranoid because he was the best, and he was like almost self-sabotaging himself. Like when you it's the path to becoming the best is more enjoyable than becoming the best. When you've arrived, there's nothing else to strive toward, and you're like, what now?
What am I doing up
Yeah,
here?
Tom Brady had that realization once when they were like, I think he won his like third championship ring, and one of the people was like, well, what do you do now? And he just goes, I don't know. Can you like? He's like, can you tell me? He's like, he accomplished everything that
Wow.
he needed to accomplish, and like he's like, where do I go from here? There's a point where the chase is better than. It's about the journey, not the destination, guys.
Yes.
But yeah, so like the objects are important. This ring seems to be important. You don't know where this ring is. Lots of questions, but you also get some information in this chapter, which is lovely. Is there any little tidbit, Danny, that we forgot that you want to mention?
No, I mentioned them all as we went.
Okay,
so
good.
I think that was everything.
We'll definitely be returning to this chapter too at some points because there's a lot in it.
Yeah.
But let's go over our finals. House Cup. Who gets the hot tamale, and what's your favorite moment from these chapters? And just so you all know too, just on the chat, we included membership. We're going to do some like member only videos, and our membership is called the Hot Tamale. So you can become hot tamales.
Nice.
If you
Yep.
join, you can become a hot tamale. Quick plug.
I guess the favorite moment, it's not really a moment, but that whole chapter, just learning more about Lord Voldemort's background was interesting.
Hmm.
I just like how crazy he was as a kid. Is kind of fitting for how
Yeah,
he is now.
was crazy.
I guess the House Cup, I think Dumbledore, because he is just revealing more memories and like wanting Harry to be filled in versus the opposite from previous books where he just kept him in the dark. The hot tamale, that's hard because I feel like there wasn't really someone that stood out to me. This
Madame Rosmerta.
what, the drunk?
No, the one that Ron had to
had a
keep
crush
looking
on.
over at. What,
Oh
Curvy
my
and
God.
something.
He was like looking for
And
her, and
Hermione
Hermione has a little line.
noticed.
She's
Yep.
like, who, nothing's in the back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, nothing. Oh, nothing. There wasn't that much hot tamale stuff because my focus was always on the, now when I'm looking
The
back, I'm thinking about
info.
all the cool info we got.
Yeah.
But when I think back, Harry did miss Ginny too. He was like, oh, I thought we were going to hang with her in Hogsmeade, but we didn't. So I think
So Ginny's still a hot tamale.
Yeah.
she's drawing his eye, whether she's present or not in these chapters. So I think that's cool. But the Ron and Hermione thing, that's spicy. There's some action there. Because Hermione's jealous, and yeah, romance is in the air in these books. But who are you gonna give your hot tamale
I
to?
don't know, Jenny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like, oh, what the?
I see her name
She was
right
only
here.
mentioned
She's a
once.
dean, I
Thanks,
guess.
Jenny.
All right.
But I don't know who else to give it to.
You know what?
A mom? Merope?
I think Ron's a little horny right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
wasn't even
Ron gets hot
expecting
tamale
it to
from
be
my
that.
Drool
side.
coming down from looking at Madame Rosmerta.
Yeah, and he's drawn Lavender Brown's eye.
You
So
used a
her eyes. She has
PG-13
two of them.
word. I'm shocked.
And so I don't know who to give the house cup to though. That's a tough one. I think my favorite moments were with Dumbledore and Harry back in time, but I just can't think if there was a particular moment. Young Dumbledore is just awesome. I think when he pulled out the gin, that was legit.
Yeah, that's a good move.
He just like he's thinking so many steps ahead.
Young
He's so
Dumbledore.
smooth with it.
He could be a hot tamale too.
Yeah, he could be. he was flirting it up with what's her name? Mrs.
I was gonna
Cole.
get my hot tamale was Dumbledore. Comes in with like a plum robe
Oh,
or
yeah.
tunic or whatever it
Gosh.
is, looking all good.
Rocking it.
Tunic.
He's a hot tamale for me.
Yeah, maybe I'll give Dumbledore house cup. He was running the show.
Mm.
He's being more secretive than I thought.
Yeah.
He's still being weird about his hand thing, and there was
I
like one other
know.
part of the story that Harry asked him about, and he's like, later.
It's because he just likes to
About what the ring
control
maybe?
how
I forget.
he
Yeah, he's
learns
still-
the
he's
information, which is
Classic
annoying.
Dumbledore, still being withholding, and we
Mm.
kind of trust it, but
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a little more different
Yeah.
this book, because he's like, oh, I'm not going to keep as many secrets.
He's my house cup and my hot tamale. I'm giving it
Ooh,
to the same person.
yeah.
I think Dumbledore just does a great job this chapter.
Boom.
Yep.
Nice.
My favorite moment? I don't know. That's a tough one. I was gonna say the plum colored suit because I think that was a good one. Someone actually wrote just in case. He says my favorite moment. Nice suit, sir, said Harry before he could stop himself. But Dumbledore merely chuckled. It was a cute little moment when they were like in the pensive and
Mm-hmm.
he like saw.
Oh, that was a cute moment. Yeah. When Harry said it without
Yeah.
even thinking or
Like
something.
that.
Yeah.
I think the whole House of Gaunt, or not House of Gaunt, the whole Secret Riddle chapter was just my favorite moment. I think that's such a good
Yeah,
chapter.
such a good
so
one.
much good stuff that's happening there.
Sorry, 'cause I'm literally half asleep.
Yeah.
I agree with all of you.
Yay!
We got that.
Oh, also
I was trying
great
to-
socks, Ravenclaw
Ooh, I
socks, repping
Oh.
strong right now.
Well, thanks for joining us on our journey of Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. Until next time.
Woo! How many chapters should I read next time?
3. Try to
I
do
promise
3.
I'll actually read them.
I know. Try to do 3.
3, 13,
We're all gonna
14.
come in plum-covered suits next.
Oh, yes.
Next podcast. I was going to try to get. I couldn't do this because this week was so hectic for me. I was going to try to get pineapple. What was it?
Oh, glazed pineapple
No, it
or
wasn't
sugared
glazed,
or
it was-
candied or
I think it might have been
pineapple.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna bother me. What kind of pineapple was it? People on chat, help me out.
The thing that Harry got
Oh,
in
the-
Hogsmeade?
Yeah, no. Slughorn liked it. He was munching on it. Oh, the shoot! Oh, what's the line?
We
kind of pineapple
can
is
do it. Doodly-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Crystallized pineapple.
Crystallized.
Thank you, J Vols. You're the best.
Excellent. Man,
All right,
what
anyway.
a crew.
We're gonna get out because we.
There were a few other little food things in this
I know
chapter
there
I
were
just like
some-
kind of
some-
missed,
I
but
know. This week was just hectic, so we can.
yeah,
we'll get
and the
some stuff for
mornings
next
are
podcast.
tougher for food
I
than
know,
the
yeah.
evenings, but
Yeah. All right, guys.
picture from the next chapter and the chapter title. Someone's drinking something and it's Felix Felicis.
Felix Felicis is the next chapter. It's a good one.
Goodness.
Maybe he takes Felix Felicis. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us on chat. You guys are the best, as always. Love you guys.
We love
Have a
you
great-
guys.
Have a great
You
day.
hot tamales.
Hot tamales. Only if they join the members.
Oh yeah, you're not hot tamales. I take it back. But one of you might
You
be.
guys are House Cup winners, not hot tamales. yet.
Definitely big time.
All right, guys. Have a good day.